Mark, I can't hear anything. Are you there? We can hear me. Okay, that's great. Well, welcome everybody to our episode of Mark Can't Hear Anything, and I'm late to the show of Think Outside the Blocks. I guess I get to give you the official welcome, even though Mark already tried to give us one, but we couldn't hear him. Mark's had some problems with the headphones, with the microphone on that particular headphones. And I just had to turn my fan off. So you guys are probably listening to a little bit of extra fan noise in there as well. So here we are. What a great start to the show. Nothing but pure maniaism here. Maniacism, mania, pure mania. But Mark will eventually get that running, I'm pretty sure. And when he does, then we can talk about what we're going to talk about today, which is the letter N. And that's today's show, sponsored by the letter N. So we're going to talk about Nerd Alert, nominated for El Jefe, new creations, nothing new from Mark, need to pay the bills, newborn explorers, some news, some nurturing, and then our special next show, which will feature Nicole and Lego Crimes. All right, well, let's see. Mark's probably doing some last second adjustment here so that we'll be able to hear him. When he's on here. So let's see here. VMAX suggests that we have happy little mistakes today. I'm not sure that they're happy or little. This kind of feels like an oops. Mark and I actually met earlier this week. We wanted to be super prepared for today. And in order to do that, we worked out, believe it or not, the one thing we were working on was audio issues. So we actually thought we had them ironed out. Mark's got his headset on. He's feeling confident. And then apparently we can't hear him. Let's see here. Mania, N for Nope, Tainted Joy. Yeah, okay. I guess everyone's got their own version of fun for today.
Oh, there we go. I can hear you.
I can
Can you
hear
hear
you now
me?
too, Mark. Yes, I can.
That was great.
That was exciting. Yes. I told the chat. I told everybody about how we worked on our audio issues this week, and
Yeah.
there it was.
Yeah. Hopefully, I don't
Everyone
sound
got to see
tinny
that.
because that's what annoyed me enough to buy a new microphone and headset. Because last week's live stream, I sounded really tinny on the playback, and I probably sound that way now, even though we tried to get around that. And
We tested it. Yep.
well, and here we are.
Well, we're rolling. So
Professional live streaming. How about that?
you know, this is funny because I was just reflecting on how far we've come, right, since the first stream, or at least that was my thought. I have to rush in late because
Right.
I had to stop quick at the bathroom and get my leftovers in the fridge. Started the show without me anyway, but I'm like, hey, we've got some improvement in the cameras. My video is no longer super choppy. You can actually see it. Like, we're getting there, right? We can both post comments, all this other stuff. And then, what do you know? We get on, and for the first minute and 8 seconds, I'm not here and no one can hear you. So,
Well, could you guys at least on the intro song? Pyro Kill says a little tinny, but not hard to listen to. So roll on. All right, thank you. I'll do that.
let's do it. Yeah.
I'm so annoyed. I'm so very annoyed.
N for annoyed.
N for annoyed. Yes, yes. So I appreciate that you went over the run of show already. I saw that happening behind my settings window.
I did, yes. So we're trying it on this new slide here so that it can be seen and we can still be seen. It doesn't block my face anymore.
Yeah.
But let's start, as we usually do, with a little icebreaker, and then we'll move to new creations. So this week we want to talk about Nerd Alert, another reflection on Mark being nominated back in the day, 20 years ago, Mark, is that correct?
Correct.
For the Joseph Jefferson Award, which we have now lovingly renamed the El Jefe.
El Jefe.
So
Correct.
tell us about being named for the El Jefe.
Well, it was another life I used to live where I was an actor. I'm sure no one could imagine that I would have the personality to try to live as an actor, but I did. And I was part of a show here in Chicago. It's written by a man named Stephen Sondheim. It's called Merrily We Roll Along, and I was in a Avoid the Noid. Yes. Oh my God, I love those commercials. Um, it was,
The old Domino's mascot, the Noid.
I would say, an exercise in like trying to keep your self esteem high when you don't naturally have high self esteem. Because I was cast in the lead of this show, and it was just, it was like it was a lot to carry. It was outside of my vocal range, and it was just a lot of work. And eventually, I got nominated for an El Jefe for my favorite part of this, for Best Supporting Actor. And Frank, if you guys know the show at all, anybody, any musical theater nerds out there that know Merrily We Roll Along, it was it was kind of like I feel great that I got N for nominated, but also why is it supporting actor in a show where I was the lead, and then one of the supporting characters got nominated for lead actor, and I was like, did they just mix up the names of the character? I need to know this. So what we're doing on May 5th is we're doing a staged reading of the show, meaning we're reading through the script and singing all the songs. And my vocal range hasn't gotten any higher, so I'm just kind of like I'm setting myself up for failure, not failure, but just like again to have the self consciousness I had 20 years ago in doing this show and feeling the things that I felt about it. So that's like that's one of the new and for new things in my life that I'm like, why on earth am I doing this to myself with everything else that I have going on? Why this? Why did I decide to say yes? Because I could have easily just been like, I don't see these texts, I don't see these emails, these messages on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, they're trying to get a hold of me through LinkedIn. They'd have found somebody else to play the part of Frank. I don't know why I said yes, but I did, and we're going for it.
You gotta defend that El Jefe nomination.
Yeah, that I lost, by the way. I didn't win the
That's
award
okay.
either.
I've been told that being nominated is its own reward. The hard work is its own reward. All the other stuff people say when they don't win or when they're trying to make you feel better, at least.
And I actually believe that. I was like, cool,
Yeah.
holy shit. And like, honestly, I didn't ever think I was going to actually win it. Of
Yeah.
course I didn't, because that's the mental state I was in at the time.
I definitely want to see Mark doing show tines. He means tunes, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Mark has told me though that he is a poor excuse for a gay man because he's not a musical theater
No.
aficionado. He's not excited about musical theater.
No.
Um, so
And for
uh,
no.
and for no. So I don't know. Do you have any show tunes that you do like? Or are you just basically like I don't like any Broadway-ish sounding anything?
So, one of my favorite musicals that I would love to be involved in any capacity if I was ever to return to acting. Let's say Brickworld completely fails, and I'm like, well, what do I do now? I would love to be in a musical called Urinetown.
You're in town or you're in town?
Urinetown,
Hmm.
like the number one.
Okay.
It's one of the smartest things I've ever heard, like thematically, musically wise, but also just like a really good commentary on the state of the earth, basically.
I see.
Yeah.
I don't know if you could do that because of the number of urine breaks you'd have to take during the show. That might
That's a
be a
huge,
problem.
that's a huge thing with me. In performing live theater is like the times where I'm like, I have to go. That was a big problem with Merrily We Roll Along because I was on stage almost the entire time. And so I had to be really careful. You want your voice to be ready, so you want to drink a lot of water, but you don't want to drink a lot of water because you're Mark Larson
Yeah.
and you have to pee every 37 minutes.
Yeah. Ron Smith says loves Urinetown.
Great show, and it's just fun. It's fun and it's poignant. Poignant, is that a word?
Yeah.
Poignant. So you get to the end. You get to the end, and you're like, it's kind of like a an emotional punch in the gut, and you're like, what? Wait a minute. I thought this was fun. I was having a good time, and then all this other stuff happens. You're like, oh, they have a point. And the very last line of the show is "Hail Malthus." So if you know anything about like philosophy and especially ecological philosophy, and you know who Malthus is, it's kind of a spoiler. But I don't think a lot of people know who Malthus is. And our Lego live stream has been about obscure musicals for a good. Where's our counter? I can't even find it.
Probably 6 minutes, maybe
12?
7.
12. Well, we had 6 minutes of like, hey,
6 minutes of nothing. Yeah.
part. I'm so mad.
Yeah. Let's see here.
Yeah.
Well, so there you got a little peek inside Mark's life this weekend.
And my neuroses. N for neuroses.
Neuroses, yes. I
Mm-hmm.
noticed I got a little beard trim because
Oh,
I took my daughter to the Sweethearts dance
I did
on
emphasize
Friday.
that. I didn't notice.
No, that's okay. You don't need to. Where we danced the night away. She is my
Oh,
sweetheart. You know, it's the daddy-daughter dance. So that's why I'm looking so nice and trim today.
Paige Pritchard is here, and she's intrigued by Urinetown because she apparently knows who Malthus is.
Okay. Well,
Oh, look who's back in the house here. It's Hawkeye Lego Man. How are you, sir? He was not the singing type. Sir, I cannot imagine that you would be, but I would love to go to karaoke with you and see you sing something because I bet you'd be fun and amazing. If you guys don't know Hawkeye Lego Man, he's probably, no offense, because I love my introverts, one of the most introverted people I've ever met, but also like a very fun, quirky, unique person. Just a lot of fun, has done a lot of work for Brick World, and of course you, sir, and I need to meet so we can talk about what you're doing for us this year. He also says, did a couple years of theater with his homeschool friends. Well, I'm not surprised at all that you done theater during junior and senior years of high school. Well, let's talk
homeschool
about that.
homeschool friends,
Yeah, you got to have homeschool friends when you're homeschooled.
I guess.
Like those parents got to get together and make sure those kids are socializing.
Okay.
A little community theater stuff going on.
Absolutely. And hey, you
And
didn't
no
offend.
offense taken.
No offense there for Hawkeye Lego Man, and I think I've asked this before. Is Hawkeye Lego Man actually from Iowa, or just a big fan of the Hawkeyes?
I
I don't
believe he
even
lives
recall.
in Michigan because every time I meet with him, he's on the eastern. Oh, which would be no Iowa, other way, not
Oh,
Ohio. Blah, blah, blah.
Iowa, yeah. Brick Orphanage suggests that I may have been in a bank commercial. Not that I'm aware of. But if I was,
I love this.
I need my royalties. Um,
Yes, yes, you do.
let's see here. VMAC Attack suggests that
Yeah,
that there needs to be an Elsa costume worn by VMAC Attack at the next Brick World.
sure. So we unofficially encourage cosplay. The reason we don't officially encourage it is
Because
because
it's more it I'll tell you why. It's more fun when Tim Leidy shows up in Adventure Boy uniform without telling us he's going to do it than if it's everybody's wearing Adventure Boy costumes.
oh, that's right. So Hawkeye Lego Man is more about Hawkeye,
Ah,
like the guy from Arrival. What's his name? I love that. I love
Jeremy
the character.
Jeremy Renner.
Yes.
Yes.
Um, so VMAC Attack, the other reason that we don't encourage cosplay is because of creepers. I don't mean to laugh at that. It's just true.
Oh, it is.
And I laughed at how blunt I was about it because nothing is more annoying
Creepers.
than creepers. Yes,
Mhm.
exactly.
Yeah,
Um,
and we don't mean from Minecraft. We mean that oftentimes cosplay encourages a certain amount of clothing on many a female, and it does not always translate well over to socially inappropriate nerdism.
oh, exactly. Not the type of creeper where you're like, oh, I've got to move to a different section of my Minecraft field. But the type of
Yes.
creeper that you're like, oh, wait, I should check myself for air tags.
That sounds suspiciously like something that could come up in Lego Crimes, which, spoiler alert, I think everyone saw on the run. We're planning to finally do next week we've got the real YouTube influencer, Girl Bricks a Lot, locked in, we hope, to do a little more Lego crimes with us. I already have my crime picked out. I don't have the slides for it yet. Mark, I think, told me he's got
Oh,
a
I'm
whole
so
thing
excited.
of like
Yeah.
15 of these
I got a folder,
crimes. Yeah, he's got a whole folder of them.
but nothing
So
is better than the one that I have. My favorite crime ever. Well, the first one was
dark.
dark and deep and like a real true crime. A crime. What's going on here? Um, a true crime. My next one is probably my favorite. One of the silliest, like most fun. It gets dark, but the
All right.
connection to Lego is hilarious to me. Anyway,
Locked in and we hope they don't seem to go together, but they do go together. Nicole definitely wants to do it, but she has a fabulous fun life,
mhm.
unlike Mark and I. So she's
Yeah.
always traveling and getting Lego sets early and posting things on her
Yeah.
Instagram, and we're just like,
Yeah, initially she wanted to do it tonight, but then like suddenly her life took her out of the country. So like so she was worried that she might be jet lagged. And wow, what a fun life where you just like suddenly must leave the country
yeah,
for my fun job that I have.
yeah. Let's see, we've got Mike and Joe Ellen checking in as well.
Oh, they're both here.
Um, well, just Joe Ellen, but speaking for Mike, suggesting that we don't want to encourage creepers. But hey, we've already been told just keep your distance from a creeper. They
Right.
won't explode on you. VMAC attacks saying hi to them as well. So hey, we've got lots of people locked in. So do we want to do, the thing we usually do, which is talk about mocks?
Yeah, I would love to do that. Did you build something this week?
Did I ever?
So
We
did
made
I.
some progress on the arachnid mech, so much so that it is probably the last time it will be shown on stream, and we
Well,
might be to something new next time.
nice.
So if we bring up the run of show again, we know we're talking about new creations now before we get to all these other fun topics,
Good.
and so we can jump into that. I can set up my camera if you want to talk for a minute. You could do need to pay the bills now if you want to,
I,
or you could just kind of wing it.
let's start with a very special need to pay the bills
Okay.
this week. Let's go with where am I at? It's going to say, where can I watch the Playmobil movie, which we'll get to. So don't worry about this for right now. But one of our, here, hold on one second. One of our sponsors is a gentleman who refers to himself as D's Bricks. D's Bricks has been doing a lot for Brick World, has done all of our shows, expos, and conventions over the last year, has done a lot to drum up some sponsorships. It was a huge part in making the first Grand Rapids show a successful show. And he also happens to sell Lego online. Now you can, online. Now you can go to dsbricks.com and find some pretty cool stuff there. Maybe some official Lego sets at reasonable prices. Maybe you can find some retired sets at also reasonable prices. But you can also go to his Bricklink store, which I've brought up here. This is how I'm going to say. This is how I'm going to shout out to D's tonight. As I was building, I'm like, I'm missing a bunch of pieces. So this is the first place I go. I go to Biggest Bricks first because he always has a um, very prolific stock. And so I've got, what do I have in my cart here? I've got $143.30 in my cart there. Not only does D's sell Lego and do a lot for the community and do a lot for Brick World, it was also his birthday yesterday. So you got to show D's Bricks some love. You check him out at dsbricks.com for his store. You can check him out at his Bricklink store at biggestbricks.com. I'm sorry, it's big as bricks on Bricklink, but you can also hit him up on TikTok, YouTube, Instagram, maybe other social media platforms at D's Bricks, and wish him a happy birthday. Very good friend of the stream, very good friend of Brick World. And that's all I got to say about that. Happy birthday, D's. Love you, D's.
All right. Well, let's toss this up on stage.
What? Oh my God.
Um,
The table's clean.
it's somewhat clean.
I'm
There we go. So here we are.
Yeah. We
The arachnid mech looking more arachnidy than ever.
yeah, I like it.
We've got our head attached, and I fixed the camera issue, so we can pan around pretty easily now, pretty
Ooh.
smoothly.
We got
Get a
some
good look at it.
we got an ooh from
We
the
got an ooh.
yeah, it's our first ooh in a while because I guess I don't make that sound anymore. Yeah, show some love and proceed to checkout. Thank you, Lego Team B. Yes, that's how we show love sometimes in the Lego community, if possible. Paige Pritchard said, last time I ordered from him, I got so many dots thrown in. Happy birthday to Tees. I've never had more organized Bricklink orders come in than what I order from D's. Like everything is separated in its own bag. And I've placed multiple orders in one. So I've gotten 3 orders and they were in 3 separate freezer bags to be like, this is how you can compare them if you want to check and see what you got. Anyway, enough about D's. Back
Fair
to
enough.
in
Fair
that.
enough. So we're standing independently here. We've got our head now attached with
Oh, the car. Oh God, that looks great.
a little
What's
bit of a collar. Yep.
underneath? Is it just like inverted? The inverted like wedge slopes.
And it's just some wedges on their side here, and then some of the sort of, I don't know what you'd call them, three-sided uh, three-sided bricks. We'll get a little close and zoom here.
The Mac Attack wants some different angles too,
Yeah,
so
well,
you
we'll get
feel
in a nice close tight one to the collar here. So
yeah.
you
Oh,
can see
no.
we've got some snot here, and then some
What, sir?
some upside down on the bottom there to roll off and finish off the collar.
Your snot is upside down,
So there we go.
dude.
And then we've got this kind of. I was originally going to put, this rotates, an artillery weapon or something back here. I still might, but for now, because of the weight and whatever else, we're mostly just leaving it with these nice, uh, big circle-like looking pieces on there.
Ralph
Um,
Fernader is back in the chat, and he says it's looking amazing. Hawkeye Lego Man says, "Can it nod like rock? It looks great."
it cannot lift up and down. However, of course, it's got 8 legs. So if the front legs go up higher, then the back legs go down lower. Now you've got your head tilted.
Well, I think you missed an opportunity because like every mech is going to be asked a question. They have to be able to nod and shake their heads.
Nod yes, nod no. So we also had a back. This is part of the reason why an artillery or something would have made sense, because I added a cockpit to the back as well. And that does come off and open. We did sort of this double stacked cockpit in the front, like I had mentioned, kind of like the old attack helicopter styles, where you have kind of the stacked
Doctor Who wants,
operators.
Doctor Who wants to see the fangs, asking, "Can it bite you?" Doctor Who, I saw you last night in All of Us Strangers. You were amazing in that. You got quite a wide range as an actor, my friend. Lego Team B says this bad boy is only ever gonna nod no.
Yeah, it doesn't need to say yes or placate anybody. But of course, the other thing we've been doing is chonkifying the mech. So here's V1. Here's what we were going from, and what we were going to.
Yes, dude, nice.
So you can see quite a bit of chonkification. I also did do some work on the bottom, even though it's going to be difficult to get down. Yeah, maybe not because of this. There we go.
Oh, look at you with your arm.
So we do have some detail down underneath as well, even though probably no one's going to see it. There was a third piece in here in the middle, but I took it out because I'm kind of thinking when I do put this on a base, if I want it to be more dynamic looking, even though obviously it can stand on its own, building some sort of support down under here so I can move some of the legs up might be a good idea.
I like this. I like this 3-screen setup that we have going, because when you point it under your mock, now everyone knows that when you do something like that, I go like this so I can like look underneath and see closer. But what was fun is
we could solo it, but we're trying.
We're
getting a little crazy here with 3 screens up.
We like our faces.
Yeah.
Let's see. Alternate candidate says, "Longer I look, the more I like." Excellent work, sir. I agree. One of the things I thought last week as you had the non N for non chunkified mech in the background, there was just something like really creative and dynamic about the original mech that until this was complete, I didn't even give a thumbs up. Settle down, Sonoma. Until this was complete, couldn't like you couldn't see how much detail was in there, how much character was in there. And so it was like something that I was like, I didn't say last week because I was like, let's wait and see until it's done. And so I was worried about like seeing the final process because I had to be like, Ben, we got to have a talk. But I don't feel that way anymore after seeing these two next to each other now. Like the chunkification is like you've taken the character and the original creativity and the vision that you had and just made it bigger, which was the entire point in hashtag chunkifymx.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where when I first had this one built, I really liked it. I was really quite proud of it. But, what we said, kind of the word was it lacked presence. And I think
Yes.
this one's got a lot more presence for sure.
Oh, without a doubt.
It's hard to move past the table and not see it.
So
In terms of the legs, how are they reinforced? Well, I did a couple different things to
yeah.
make them a little stronger. First of all, I added this mechanism on all of the ratchet joints for this part so that it kind of stays where I place it. So it's
As,
a
as
bar inside of this piston piece.
as we talk about the details, I'm going to go ahead and solo this so people can have a better opportunity to see it up close.
Awesome. And the other thing that I noticed that was probably the most distressing is that I was losing. You can see I can actually spin it, and it holds up pretty well as long as the legs um, don't shift too much. But down in here, these legs here kept popping off in the middle, so I did have to reinforce them with this lift arm across
Mm-hmm.
to try to make sure that they stayed in.
Add
And
some
that's
lift
part
on.
of the reason that even though it can stand independently, when I put it on display, I think I'm going to want to put some sort of support down here under the middle so I can do things like pose the legs like this.
Yeah.
See, I am still missing a few pieces from a Bricklink order that should be coming.
I was going to
Just
ask
some little
that. I figured as
pieces,
much. Yeah.
but that stuff's kind of minor compared to getting the head on finally, and getting it shaped and everything.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they did need a little reinforcement to make sure that it can stand upright without something holding it up in the middle. But
Yeah.
again, might be something I do end up doing for the sake of display.
I agree with Doctor Who that it does look very heavy, so I'm very impressed that it can stand independently, and I can't wait to see what you end up doing with it to give it a dynamic pose on some sort of setting. Hopefully, that has some colorful foliage in it. um, Hawkeye Lego Man says that he can only imagine how much more impressive it is in person. Jesse's Brick Galaxy is here. Welcome, Jesse. Thank you for being here. We're gonna have you back on soon because we really want an update on your new standard for the D&D game standard that you had introduced on our show. Want to see what's new with it? Hey, Ben, Jesse's suggesting that after you chunkify your mechs, you castlify next time. What do you think about that?
I'm not going to castlify a mech, but I do think, and we did show this on stream, I will be castlifying a castle mock, um, a standard set into a castle mock, and we talked about
Oh,
this
there we
one.
go.
See, I'm pulling it out over here. The old
Oh, geez.
Knight's Castle, which I picked up at my local Brixton minifig store.
It's so
We're going to
cute.
be doing a mock out of this. So for
Yeah,
that castle, stay tuned.
a chunkified castle.
Chunkify this castle set. Yes, that's what we're going to do.
Lego Team B says chunkification complete. Truly impressive. Thanks for sharing the journey here, Ben. Yes, actually, I wanted to say the same thing. Thank you very much. It's nice to see. It's been a while since one of us has completed a mock on this show.
Yeah, we've, some of the early shows, we had new stuff all the time, but it's been a little slower, but that just means that there's a bigger payoff when we finally get to it. So
And I do believe this question
looking forward.
has been sitting there for a while because I think you already proved it. Hawkeye asked if you had tested how heavy it is. I don't think it's a funny question. I think it's a valid question.
I mean, I can tell just by lifting it. The one-handed test. The problem is when I pick it up, all of the legs kind of kind of bow in a little bit because they're
Yeah.
no longer holding all the weight. So when I try to put it back down, all the legs are sort of pointed in and it doesn't necessarily sit perfectly, and I have to adjust them all back out.
Would not
Um,
know where to begin with this type of Lego engineering. V Macatech says make a mountain of fallen foes under it as a base. I like that idea. Or the original base was like a desert with a power line,
yep,
and I hate it.
you
No,
did not love it, that's for sure.
that's a better way to put it, I guess. I did not love it. Alternate candidate says the chunkification makes it more real to my eyes. To say it has presence is an understatement. Ooh, the tainted are very happy with what they're seeing here with this chunkified
The
spider.
chonkification. Yes, and for those who are maybe newer to the stream, we can show you where this all started, our chonkification journey.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first mech that I ever did that I felt needed some chonkification, I still have over here.
Heavy pants.
And we'll grab Mr. Heavy Pants mech as well. Here's
That's why you guys are the tainted.
is because of Mr. Heavy Pants. So he'll come in here in a second.
They kept asking for the taint. It wasn't me. I didn't say anything about that. It was them.
Here was the original mech that kind of got us all started.
Ben, be right back.
All right, perfect. It is a very cute little kind of scout mech. Same thing. I liked this mech, but I think it was easy to pass it by because, you know, it lacks presence. That's kind of the word. So here was Mr. Heavy Pants mech, the replacement for Mr. Little Pants mech, which kind of got me started on this whole idea or concept of taking a mech that maybe was overlooked or not noticed because of its size and making it chunkier or chonkier. You can see a very similar kind of result um, in terms of it going from sort of a cute mock to something that you'd maybe actually stop and take notice of. And now I guess we can put the two chonkers together here. The Spider Mech definitely more of a presence than Mr. Heavy Pants Mech, but I think they look pretty good together. Nice little pair, sort of like a scout and a heavy assault type vehicle combined together there. So I actually rather like Mr. Heavy Pants Mech. Same thing, he stands up pretty well on his own if you get the legs in the right position. So he is posable as well. Wouldn't be a bad idea on a dynamic pose to get the legs pinned in when I do have one, so that they can do something that doesn't look like the mech is just standing around at all times. But there we go. We have a pair of chonkified mechs there now on screen.
Wow.
Feeling like a new duo compared to the old duo. So
I don't know what I missed, but we have some fun comments here. The Yellow Xenophone says, "Don't talk to me or my son." It's in quotes. So is it something you said?
I don't recall saying that. Um,
Interesting thing to say. Perhaps Yellow can catch us up on what they meant.
Yes.
Hawkeye says, "Have you tested in pounds, like on a scale?" Oh, that he wants to know how much it weighs.
Yeah, I don't know.
Why, Hawkeye? Hawkeye, why do you want to know this? there's. This is a valid question. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for asking. But why?
Apparently it's a meme. Our meme game is weak. I'm gonna just admit it right now.
Is it seriously?
Yeah, I think it is.
No, I know. No. I agree that our meme game is weak. I just, you know what I don't do in life?
Get better at memes?
Or quote them in. Well, you know what? That's a lie. Because the other day I said, "That's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine." But I mean, that was the original meme, wasn't it? Like I saw the first one, and then I just gave up after that. Fabby Famwaki says that he liked to use ice cream to get chunkier.
Yeah, I put this guy on a very strict diet of ice cream to get his heavy pants going, and there he is, looking all heavy pantsy.
Yeah, he definitely did his deadlifts. Hawkeye says it's like a happy family, which I agree. It's very cute all together. V Mac Attack says it's the Crimson Guard. I like that a
Crimson
lot.
Guard. That's nice.
Yep, it's a meme. So I guess we'll have to Google it and maybe bring it up later, see what on earth has been talked about there, because it relates to something. Hawkeye did say funny question. I ignored that part because I thought it was a relatively decent question because I thought he just meant like how could it hold up its own weight? He wants either kilos or pounds.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I think it would. I don't know what it. This is the problem, right? So you can attempt to weigh something like this
The
probably
problem.
by holding it and stepping on a scale and then putting it down and then stepping on the scale, and then the difference in weight is what weighs. It'll round to the nearest half pound or whatever your scale does. I'm sure it's too heavy for like a kitchen scale or a postage scale. I could probably bring it to UPS and say, could you please weigh this for me? But yeah, I mean, I guess I don't really have a super practical way. It's probably too light to show up on a bathroom scale and too heavy to show up on a kitchen scale. So
Okay, Ben. I've got something here for you because YOLO
that was a lot of explanation for something silly, but that's okay. All right, let's go.
YOLO killed it with this one because it does quite relate. This is the me. As a matter of fact, if you bring both mechs, you might just be able to put a mock card out that says, "Don't talk to me or my
Don't
son."
talk to me or my son ever again. Yes.
And it's been done over and over and over in many ways. Thank you, YOLO, for sharing pop culture with us because we clearly don't have.
Yeah, we are not cultured.
No,
No.
we are not.
Well, but there we have it, Mr. Heavy Pants Mech and Mr. Arachnoid Mech. Uh, feeling finished for the purpose of this stream. The actual finished product will probably make it to Brickworld Milwaukee in not too long.
Do I have to Google it?
So
Do I have to Google this too? Is it 2.78 kilos? Another meme?
maybe that's just a very practical guess, because that would be what, about 6 pounds, a little change,
I think the
seven
first meme
pounds.
is Badger Pajamas, and now Gen X has a song stuck in H equals their heads.
Yeah, I think a kilo is about 2.2 pounds is what I seem to recall.
Chris Cummings is here, says it's the Daddy Mac and Sons out for a walk. Hawkeye always has our backs. Appreciate that, sir. I
All right.
agree. Use the grocery store scale.
Yeah.
Do they still have those? I haven't seen a scale in my grocery store in decades.
You maybe you shop at the fancy grocery store where they're like, you don't need to know how much it costs. If you need to know how much this banana costs, you can't afford it, jerk. Right?
Brick Orphanage wants you to bring it to the next Twin Lug meeting, which is next month, and they'll bring a scale that can go up to 15 pounds. I also
15 pounds. Whew.
I can bring a scale to Brickworld Milwaukee that we can weigh out that on as well. Fan Milwaukee says, "Take it to the grocery store." There we go. We got consensus from the Tainted that they want you to take this to the grocery store with you.
Yes.
Where are these
Yes.
scales in grocery stores? Where are you guys from? Fabby Fan Milwaukee, where are you from? I'm kidding. Paige
Yeah,
Richards.
Paige, I did mention that, but I think it's not going to be accurate enough, because I'll probably only be able to get to like a half pound or a quarter pound, or I don't know.
Alternate candidate suggests they look like they're begging for a battlefield. I think they're begging for a wooden table with a poster board backdrop.
Yeah. I mean, the only reason that the poster board is here is to block out the ship that I did in September, because it's a little too busy.
Which is nice though too, because like a lot of times with that backdrop that you have of all your modulars, it's kind of hard to see what you're
Yeah.
building, and it's really hard here when I've got all the junk and stuff behind mine. The stuff I put away today to be like, okay, this can't be in the background, this can't be in the background. So from what I hear, from time to time, YOLO builds memes. Always fun to see them in Lego form. I think your reputation precedes you, because I think I've seen some of those. V Macatech says, bougie bananas.
Yeah.
Hawkeye says, get one of those scales for babies at a hospital.
Yeah, next time that I bring my kid in for a doctor's check, I'll be like, "Hey, can you also weigh My Lego Arachnid Mech 2, please.
We could bring it to the vet because that thing has a very low tolerance for, or a very low whatever. It can weigh however
So
small your animal is.
it sounds like Z's spouse is volunteering to come down here, carry it upstairs, and weigh it.
Let's go.
That's what it sounds like to me with that type of response.
Doesn't sound like she's there yet, though. I mean,
No, I still haven't seen her, so she's obviously not trying very hard. I'm not sure she'd trust herself to pick it up, carry it up 2 flights of stairs, weigh it, and then bring it back in one piece to tell me, that it weighed 4 pounds. I mean,
well,
that's,
you can always take it up when I talk about our sponsors.
mm, she could always take it up. I'm not going anywhere.
Chris Cummings says that his local Kroger marketplace has had scales near the toy aisle before they rearranged the store layout. They what? Why?
It was probably for something else, and they just,
Left them there?
left them there, yeah. And then they were just like, "Oh, hey, check it out. You can see how much your Lego set weighs today."
I'm confused. Great. Great work, man. I like to see the progress on your entire, like, this is not just a mock, it's a project.
Okay. Do you think it'll work on the carpet in here?
I
Do you think it'll actually work on the table?
I do believe he's talking to his spouse. Oh, the scale is here, guys.
She thinks it'll pick this thing
Whoa.
up, but I doubt it.
Let's see what happens.
This scale, by the way, is disgusting. I just want to throw that out there.
Don't shame your wife. The entire family uses a scale.
One little problem. It's not going to sit on there very well.
You don't have like a piece of plywood that you can weigh first to find out how much that weighs, and then you act like you've never weighed a mock before, Ben.
Also, it's not turning on when I'm pressing down on it, so it might be out of battery. So we got that. Oh, there it goes.
It's like my headset, man.
Yeah. Let's just stick Heavy Pants mech on there and see if it even picks up anything.
Heavy Pants Mock, Heavy Pants Mech, they both work.
It says Heavy Pants mech weighs 0 pounds.
You gotta wait for the tear.
There's no tear on a bathroom scale, you goof.
There is a fit. Yeah, there are some.
So we got nothing.
Oh man.
Is it gonna work on the carpet, dear?
Hard
She knows how much she weighs, so we're gonna find out.
Make sure you shout it out.
104 pounds. Is it working? No, I don't think so. It's all a bunch of lies. This was a failed experiment from the start. Okay. Why don't you? Hey, you can put that in the laundry room or in the bathroom down here. Tell me if it works there. Oh, the things that we do. Use a base plate. Use a 48 by 48 base plate and tear it. I could try all those things, but this mech probably won't even fit on a 48 by 48 very well.
Or just like it's a 48 by 48 base plate. It probably only weighs like 2 ounces.
Well, I'm not worried about the weight. I don't have one sitting here, and this thing will probably barely even fit on it. The other problem too is then it will block the readout on the scale, so I won't even be able to tell how much it weighs anyway. Oh, okay, we're getting Z spouse is volunteering, so we're going to remove this camera while we hand off Arachnoid mech. She's making a face while carrying it. There it goes.
What kind of face?
Watching her carry it, it is way bigger. Watching her hold it than when it's sitting on the desk.
Hey, give me a minute, if you don't mind, talk about something, because Matt's not here, but I hear a lot of movement upstairs.
Yes, Joel, and I know
Hi.
how this works. The problem is that it's all carpet down here, and it doesn't work on the carpet at all. But she says it's accurate to 1/10 of a pound. So we might get a decent weight on this. I don't know how accurate the scale is in general, right? But she's got it here. Here she comes. She's doing math. How'd the math go? Oh, she wants to get out her phone or something and do the math. It must have been complicated. So it wasn't, 5 pounds right on the nose, apparently. It was some other broad number. So let's see. She only broke off a couple of pieces, which is pretty good. So I think that's a win. Okay. Z Spouse reports that the mech weighs 4.6 pounds. Doctor Who guessed 3.8. So little off, almost a whole pound heavier than that. Doctor Who, 4.6 pounds. So pretty solid, pretty heavy mech. Heavy pants and heavy everything, I guess, coming in at 4.6 pounds. So there we go.
So it was Matt, but my low jack didn't go off and tell me that he came home. So I thought the dog was in the recycling, which she never, ever, ever does, and she didn't do it here either. Because I heard like bottles rolling around and stuff, and I was like, "What's happening?" He bought a bunch of kombucha. He went to the store. That's right. We're on the wrong sides. I don't like this.
You can't handle that. Yeah.
No, I
Good
cannot.
thing it's easy to do that. 0.7 kilograms off. Well, it wasn't kilograms VMAC attack. It was the imperial measuring system, as it's known. So there you have it. 4.6 pounds of pure mechiness.
Hey Ben, I found found another one. It's you. Look, there's Ben Solo.
Yeah, that kind of reminds me of your El Jefe. I'm going to get nominated for a YouTube award for supporting co-host or something on this show.
Right.
And I'll feel very much like Mark felt about his El Jefe.
Well, I hope you win. Unlike me. That was one of the fun things. Is like one of the other people nominated for a supporting actor from our show was like, "Do you want to go over to the bar?" And I was like, "Yeah, sure. Let's go have a shot." And I thought it was going to be like, "Hey, let's congratulate ourselves for being nominated." And he was like distraught for not winning, and I was like, "Oh, you were pinning some hopes on that?" It's like it's kind of it's a thing. Like you get nominated and you might not win. But I mean, like I honestly believe that it was an honor to be nominated. I can put it on my resume.
Yeah, I'll get Lego Team B suggests I'll be nominated for lead co-host. Well, that was the joke, because I'm like, I feel like I should be, but
I missed the joke. Sorry.
doesn't mean that I would be. All right, so let's rearrange ourselves there. Now we're good to go.
We're at, I left a mess in the pool.
You did leave a mess in the pool. That is frowned upon in country clubs. Hawkeye Lego Man suggests you could add a Brickworld trophy for heaviest, chonkiest mech. I'm sure there'll be some other chonkers there. Don't you worry.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's the point. Is like Ben's looking for some mech love,
Some mech love.
some more presence in his mech, so that people will pay attention to them.
Yeah, I got to pay attention to a random mech. It's not what I'd regularly do, but when you do one, you want it to have presence.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's like, hey, if no one cares that it was built or just walks past it, then it's not as fun to share. So there we go. So here we are back at the orchard.
Yeah.
We've got some progress, it looks like, on the stairs,
Mm-hmm.
and some walls put back in, and we've got a bit of our orchard up top back in place.
Yeah.
So what do you want to talk about?
All things that are happening, correct? Okay. You called them all out. I'm going to move the vineyard. Can we talk about some other stuff?
Reed says, sorry I'm late. Got distracted building some space builds. Well, that's interesting,
Weird.
Reed. Next week, I might get distracted building some castle builds. So, who
do you
knows?
see them?
Lego Team B says, can't wait to see the chonkiness in the flesh. Does that mean that Lego Team B is coming to Brick World Chicago?
Or maybe they went Milwaukee.
Maybe, but Lego Team B is from Australia, so if they're coming for one of the shows, I hope it's the granddaddy.
Yeah.
But hey, if you want to come to Milwaukee, we'll
Or
see what
maybe
they
they're going to stay from April 13th to July 16th or to June 16th.
That's
Maybe.
possible too.
Definitely possible, right?
Let's see. Paige gives you an ooh, love the vineyard. We do love the vineyard, and Mark's always making little adjustments here and there to it. And there's a number of things here that I haven't seen together in this configuration yet.
This is the most
that we
work
can
I've been
talk
able
about.
to do in a while. Like this is the most additions or the most like consistent progress instead of me going like I'm going to build a plant, I'm going to build part of a wall, I'm going to build a fence, and I'm going to build like I just stuck to the stairs this week.
Yeah, and Lego Team B can confirm coming back to Chicago.
Yay!
So there you go.
Glad to hear that. All right, so here we go.
Look at this. We've got some stairs. I do. So one of your previous versions.
Like this will be up here somewhere. We're working on the orchard house, so that'll go in here somewhere at some point. Just working on the geometry, like that.
The Lego geometry. Yeah, that just fits perfectly. It's
Yeah,
snug. So in one of your old versions of this, really the thought was that the staircase was going to start essentially behind the wall.
And
so
go
behind where the sort of new higher back wall is there. Basically go the stairs starting there and going up into the vineyard. And now we've moved it, by we I mean you, have moved it out in front of the wall, and you're doing the staircase turn on it. I think this is a lot better transition wise.
I agree.
It was hard for me to kind of determine how the staircase was going up between the sort of the orchard entrance conceptually. This seems to make a lot more sense. I also like that because of the way it's configured now, that the middle arch is taller than the one on the left side.
Hey, we're going to work on that in the front as well.
Excellent.
And we've got some consistency with the railing. I put the railing underneath that large flowering vine, finally, instead of just having it kind of grow over like the railing not exist. I put the railing in and then had it grow around it. Put the
nice. I like it.
Cherry planters up on the top. I'm missing my gray nipples. I have no idea where they are. The 1x1 round with the bar sticking out.
Yep, I got a bunch of those sitting around here. Maybe I stole all your gray nipples.
Part of my order from D's Bricks is replenishing those. They're somewhere, and the minute I hit checkout and then pay for it, I'll find them.
That's the way it works.
Yeah, it works.
I've got some black nipples here. I've got some clear nipples here.
I found lime green ones today. I was like, even though I can't find the ones that I ordered, why can't I find any loose anywhere? Why no loose nipples?
Yeah, I don't know.
Why?
No idea.
Aggravating.
But here we go. We've got some, and Mark told me this. We gotta hold it up and touch the screen.
Does that work for you? Yes.
Ding!
Nice.
So there we got a tan nipple.
That is very close to your flesh color, sir. I'm uncomfortable.
I'm sorry. There we got a dark. There's your piece right there. Dark green nipple.
Yep.
We got a clear nipple.
Ooh.
We got a black nipple.
Black nipples.
We got nipples everywhere.
Yep. All about the nipples.
Look how well that worked.
That worked great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're becoming like good at camera changing here.
We're figuring this shit out.
We are.
So a couple of things I'm excited about. Getting the trees back up in there. Obviously I have to fix that one because there's a giant tan piece. I need to clad that bark there. I've given myself a lot more space outside of the vineyard and the trails to kind of put more gardeny stuff in there. I don't know if I'm going to put like benches, maybe a small fountain, maybe something else that's maybe a gazebo. I don't want to block these arches anymore though, because I like the arches and most of them are blocked by something. And then working on the next level, I did. I didn't even move my hands, Sonoma. Why? Where did that thumbs up come from?
You're,
Um,
you do. Your right hand is looking a little bit like a thumbs up there, but it's very tamed thumbs up. It looks like this.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Anyway,
It wasn't even like yeah.
it was like an AI generated thumbs up. Like he's kind of doing it. Um, and then, so the big thing that like I think I would have gotten a lot more done this week if it hadn't been for um, this aspect, which I finally like kind of dug into, which you can kind of see from this angle, but it's all internal. But you see that they're down at the bottom, that white Technic brick.
I do.
Everything's framed instead of stacked.
Okay.
So, and I ran out because I do this with everything. I ran out of I ran out of Technic beams and I ran out of Technic lift arms. So I had to make the length I needed out of several beams and several lift arms. You know what's really fun about odd numbered? All the lift arms are odd numbered.
That's true.
Really fun about that. If you don't have one that you need at the specific length, you need three to achieve that length because two odd numbers added
Make
together
it
will
even.
always equal an even number.
Yes.
One of my favorite math facts, but it's aggravating when I'm sitting there. I'm like, I got the two I needed. Oh, dummy.
Two. So here's fun math. Two evens will always make another even. Two odds will always make an even. An even and an odd will always make an odd.
Three odds.
Three odds don't make a right. Three odds will make an odd, because that would be an odd plus an even.
Got it.
There you go.
Um, so the internal structure there. So behind these windows,
Math facts today.
yeah. So I've made no decisions there, but I think I have some fun. Again, last week I showed uh, a still from my Animal Crossing island from Buttland, and this area was very similar to it. And I have the same problem there in that there's just cliffs behind it, and I'd love to be able to put something there. Well, now I have much more capability to put something there. So I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do yet. I know on this side in front of the staircase, um, we have we have the vineyard, of course, and this wall, this one here, I'm gonna. Oops, hi.
Tap the cam. Actually, it refocused pretty well there.
I'm gonna
So
give you a little bit better.
Lego history. Sam's back in the house.
So
Um,
this wall that I'm focusing on now,
there we go.
that wall there, it can move back by like 8 studs and be more part of the staircase. Otherwise, there's a bunch of stuff I have to fill in that I didn't know what I would fill it in with. But again, it gives me a lot of space back there. And I had a point with it looking like my Animal Crossing island. Because like one of the things I can put back there on this side, because it's going to be under the staircase, is some sort of like storage unit for the groundskeeper, right? Or some sort of like shade garden or something like that. I could put ferns back there. Or I could put some sort of like, I have all sorts of options. I don't necessarily want those. I just want to be done with this. I want to make some progress. That's a
Yeah,
point of like,
you'd have to add some more another set of railing on the stairs.
uh-huh.
If you don't push the wall back. I
Yeah.
kind of like the look, I think, of actually the stairs coming out past the wall a little bit.
Yeah. Me too.
So
And it gives me an opportunity to put a staircase or a railing on the other side if I move the wall back. Now that I have the geometry of it, it's not perfect yet. We're going to see what happens with it. Um, if I, I need more space. Don't we all?
that's what Reed's been saying. He needs more space, less castle. Okay, there we go. So we're getting a look here at the interesting build part of the staircase railing. Looks like it's not quite finished off yet there, but I think it's got a nice height to it.
I think right now it just needs a facade. I don't know how the transition will go between those clips, but let's take a look at the staircase.
There
Hey,
you
it's not
go.
focus this time.
Yeah, it looks good. And what's the name of that um, delicious little mousy, rabbity friend creature? Is it a mouse?
What? Why did you call her delicious? That was creepy.
She just looks like a treat.
Bonnie.
Bonnie.
Yeah,
Bonnie the bunny?
Bonnie Bunny.
Bonnie bunny. All
Yeah,
right, awesome.
that was the original Lego name. I forget. I probably gave her something more interesting in the annals of Rick's Mafia.
Hmm.
She has a custom torso there.
Yeah, and she's delicious. That's why, you know, that must have been the torso.
I think
Uh,
since it's the letter for the week is N, I think she should be Nummy Bunny.
okay,
This feels wrong. It feels a little gross.
Nibbles bunny.
Nibbles. Nibbles is nice.
Nibbles.
N for nibbles is N for nice. Yeah. So it doesn't. So if you see where the staircase starts, it's back here, which is about 3 studs further back than I'd be able to get into that wall. So then I have to do some more Lego geometry on the other side. But at least I have a start. I can find it.
Yeah.
Find it there somehow. Again, I want to go back to like what it all looks like now because I'm very happy. There's a bunch of other stuff that could have been finished this week, but that's just how the timing goes when you pay attention to the structure
Yeah.
and make sure that it's because there's been a bunch of weeks where I'm like I just want to get some stuff done and shown, and so I end up just kind of tacking stuff on so that you can see kind of the idea of it. And this week I was like, no, we're going to fix the inside structure of this so I can move it in a couple months if I'm going to bring this to Milwaukee.
Yeah.
Give it a test run.
Yeah, and I do like how you made the back wall there. You cut out the shape so that you could get the stairs right in underneath it.
Yeah, that's more of a thinking about how to move this once that comes down to it.
Yeah.
And so in a perfect world, it would just sit and fit all together and never have to be taken anywhere or reconfigured or taken off the table so I can wash the table or like put a new project down there, something like that. But again, it's we'll go into that at a future date. The custom boxes and how I make the custom boxes and like how my lug tears them apart to shove other things in it for some weird reason.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah,
well, I'm sure we'll do when we get closer to Chicago a few more of the getting ready for Brick World shows. Maybe we'll have some other
yeah,
guests on, all that fun stuff. Lego Team B says love the chonkiness of the banister with the minifig heads. Yeah, I mean,
that's
I think
fine.
a lot of it for you was making sure that it matched sort of those bigger railings,
Hey,
or the more official railings that you have on the build as well,
if
right?
you look at, because I store all my gray round pieces together, whether they be light blay or dark blay. If you look to the left of the staircase and go straight up, you can see that I put in a dark gray one by one round at the bottom of that spindle instead of a light gray one by one round. And I just now noticed it. Looking at it on the stream, I was like, "Oh, whoops! My chunky
Yes.
fingers grabbed the wrong color, and I did nothing to improve that.
Yeah.
I did not catch it. Um,
We're not talking about the sockeye Lego man. We've been sworn to secrecy.
yeah,
It is, you know, going to be interesting as it always is for Eurobricks.
I've been sworn to start on it soon.
I haven't made any swears, but I will get it done. I always do.
Same.
But
I've got the entire top. I'm like, I don't want to do a lot. They're like, here, take this top section. I'm like, that the whole thing? Shit.
guests, do I get to join my Lego arch nemesis? Well, I was on Friday Night Bricks. I don't know what we would talk about, Reed, other than I suppose we could talk about preparing for war at Brick World Chicago. And
There's
you
gonna
could
be a
you
war.
could come on and we could discuss how much you're gonna get your butt kicked.
I don't know if this will be the rap battle between M&R Productions and Duck Bricks that's going to happen at Brick World this year.
No, I do want to see that though. Go Duck Bricks.
It'll drop.
Not claiming to pick a side, go Duck Bricks, but what Reed's referring to is that he always sends some lame Chima ice bears
Mm-hmm.
to invade a friend's
Mm-hmm.
mock.
Mm-hmm.
He's targeting me this year, and he's made it known. But I think what he should remember and be fearful of is I don't have any Chima figures, but I've got spaceships. I've got chonky mechs. I've got castle figures. Which one's coming for Reed? Nobody knows. Nobody knows.
I'm
Oh
scared.
yes, don't give it away. No, we will not be giving away any of the battle plans or any of the plans for the Yobricks.
No, yeah,
Lego
no, nothing.
Palooza, World
Literally,
War
no,
Chi.
not a thing.
No. Okay, well we're over an hour now, so should we move on to our news segment, or
Yeah.
you got anything else you want to talk about on this quick?
No, unless you have anything else for me, I'm happy up to finally make some good progress. I had several days to work this week, and just again, like last week, was happy while I was building. Felt
That's good.
successful to be creative, be able to like pull away from everything else that I need to get done, and actually enjoy my time building. I went through a phase where it was laborious. You also, I believe, in
Oh
September
yes.
had
Yeah.
similar experience. Where you're like, I
Yes.
want to build something for me instead of like
And
for
it's not that I don't. I like how this year's ship turned out. It's, it had some new and different ideas on it.
I
But
really liked it.
at the same time, it's like, can I just be done with it for a little bit?
Right.
But that's how it goes. Um,
That's how
so,
we've talked about this. That's how I kind of always feel about our collaborative. As much as I love building as a group and always love the result, like the process is always like, well, I just want to build whatever I want, not like this thing that fits in with all the other things and stuff and does things and has
yeah,
to be specific and there's pressure.
there's a little bit of pressure, but at the same time,
We have a
at
very laid back group.
yes, at the same time, the group's laid back, and
Yeah,
we at least get to pick what we want to build within the structure, and we have fairly free reign in that regard.
true.
The last couple have been a little harder because we've tried to make it integrate better into like a single seamless mock. So there has been geometry matching and other stuff we've had to do a little bit more of. But yeah, it is pretty relaxed. And then the people who are typically needing us to use a standard come up with one and explain it well. So
Which I do like.
yeah, no complaints about that. All right. Topic number 3, nothing new from Mark. Mark, do you know what this is about? Because I do if you don't remember.
I know, of course. We
It's
talked about it a
it's
couple days ago.
this. It's this.
Yeah,
Nintendo tips from Mark.
it's me again, guys. So let's see. This is wrong article. Where are we at? Nintendo Direct just happened. If you guys are Nintendo fans, N for Nintendo, N for nothing, and N for new, N for nothing new. We had the Nintendo Direct, which was later than normal, which caused a lot of controversy among Nintendo fans. When is it going to be? Why isn't it happening? Maybe it's because the GameCube had their announcements and they held it. Whatever. We'll talk about the Nintendo Switch 2 in just a second, but let's talk about the Nintendo Direct for this year. Because one of the signs that they're gearing up for Nintendo Switch 2 is because this wasn't a normal N for normal, N for Nintendo Direct. It was a partner showcase. So it was all non-Nintendo IP, which there was a little bit of news there. Some things I found exciting. If you're into any of these games, you'll be interested to hear what was just announced. I don't know the name of a lot of these. Maybe the titles say the
That first one is Grounded, which is basically Honey I Shrunk the Kids, the video game.
and Pentiment.
Um,
Pentiment is a word.
I don't know what that is, but okay.
Yeah, which seems like a slide puzzle game. Unicorn Overlord. Blah blah
Sounds
blah
fun.
blah. Monster Hunter. Look at this. You guys ever play this on Wii?
Disney Epic Mickey rebrushed. That
This
sounds fun.
this was some fun stuff. It was like there's two of them, and it was like the original way that Oswald made his way back into like the mainstream. Is something I knew about when I was a kid because I had a bunch of old Disney books, and there was all these things about Oswald the Lucky Rabbit, who's made his way into kind of like some memes. So maybe Yolo knows who Oswald is. If you played Epic Mickey, It was all about the retired characters or the abandoned characters or the old sketches from Walt's book. Like there's quite a few really fun characters in it that were just kind of taken from like the history of Disney. If you're into animation, if you were inspired by Disney as a kid, you'll enjoy it just for like the history of the Disney companies, the Disney characters. But they're doing Epic Mickey 1 and 2 re-released on Switch. The gameplay, if you look at the Nintendo Direct, looks really smooth, looks really fun. This is a very fun game. It was something I played when I lived in California, and when my mom came and stayed with me after my dad died, she would just watch me play this at night when I got home from work. And so there's a bit of N for nostalgia involved in it too. Looking forward to getting this game. I don't know that I'll have the time to play it. I may be 60 when I finally sit down and go like, oh, let's see if my Switch still works. I'd like to play this, but I'm going to buy it. I think that's very cool. So if you did not know this was happening, then you don't follow enough Nintendo accounts on YouTube, Instagram, or TikTok.
Is it everywhere? We've got a few people
Yeah.
in the Tainted here that I do want to say a special hi to. We've got first my best friend, Monica Berry.
Monica Berry, I need to wear your shirt on stream at some point. It's in storage, and I haven't been back there since I joined.
Yes, and then we have
Monica bought me a shirt, everybody.
We have BH saying I'm here,
I know
giving a
that,
special
right?
shout out to me.
Yeah.
And you might be wondering who's BH. I'm pretty sure this would be my precious little sister,
You know who that is.
who has been sending me a cavalcade of texts today. Because speaking of N for nostalgia, she found a box of old family photos and projects that she's going through. So she's been taking pictures of all kinds of things, including like a storybook I made in like third grade with cut out construction paper with Fred the rabbit in it or something. So
And
all kinds of fun stuff.
And for nostalgia, I fully endorse doing that type of thing because you're always going to do it, in my recent experience, when there's a funeral. And it's much more fun to go through all that and like see all, like have all the fun memories and get all the feels when there's not a funeral. So I fully endorse if this is your sister.
It is
often. My sister does something where she makes a calendar for us every year through Shutterstock or MPix or something like that. Out of old pictures. I find that really fun.
Yes, here. We've got Shlomi here.
Yep, give me a second. My mouse just
get that out of there.
Wake my mouse up. There we go.
I got it. And then we'll focus.
Click the clicky.
I did. Frederick and the Seasons by Ben Hauger.
Is this a book you wrote when you were a kid?
There's me.
Ben!
Saying that I like basketball, but here's the picture. It's kind of hard to see now. We'll try to refocus it again.
Yeah, you need to do you not have an iMac?
No, I can send it to myself here, but you can see sort of the cutout paper across the bottom that made the shape. So it's kind of one of those style books. I need to get the whole book actually from BH.
Yes.
So we can actually get Frederick and the Seasons. We could do, you know how you, Mark, were nominated for an El Jefe.
Yeah.
I could do a stage reading of Frederick and the Seasons. What do you think of that? So we can get Frederick and the Seasons on the live stream.
Oh my God! Can we please?
That might be fun. So what else we've got on Nintendo?
Oh, whatever this says, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Star Wars Battlefront, the Classic Collection, this weird goo game, Penny's Big Breakaway, which a lot of people seem really excited about. This South Park Snow Day seemed like a lot of fun. Another Crab's Treasure looked really cool. Some cute games, a lot of like creativity out there. Like I love that Nintendo like works with other partners. For some of these, I can't remember if there was anything else. I was not excited about this fruit game, but yeah, there's some stuff in here. But N for nothing new for the, of course, Nintendo brand games, but also nothing new for Animal Crossing. You know what happened this week? I have a contact at the Lego store who sent me pictures of the maple polybag, and she's going to be part of the gift with purchase starting March 1st. So if you
Aha.
buy a bunch of Animal Crossing stuff, which I might,
You might.
it's some maples. I might need to make a couple different orders from different accounts to get as many maples as I can, or maybe her name is Mabel. Depends on the night you're talking to me. Uh, but if you guys haven't seen it, you guys can check out my TikTok video of Mabel in her underwear, because as an N for normal character, she runs around in her underwear a lot. Maple, one of my favorite characters in the game. Polybag is real. Polybag is not just a free gift with purchases in Japan. It's something that will be on sale here in the States, will be part of the gift with purchase. We'll eventually, hopefully, see a bunch of individual character polybags like that, because there's 365 characters plus in the Animal Crossing universe. One point before we go on to talking about the Nintendo Switch 2, Endless Ocean Luminous actually looked really cool as well. So, Nintendo Switch 2.
Before you get to there,
Yeah.
Monica says, "Can I share my book that got a Young Authors Award?" Absolutely.
I got a Young Authors Award.
Loving Tree and Twisty Tree Save a Flock of Birds was the title. I don't know where we can find that Young Authors book, or if you still have it somewhere. But
So
yes, Monica,
you kind of just have to have. They don't actually publish it or anything unless you win
that's
the
fine.
whole like thing. So my young authors, book that I won an award for was called "If You Stole Something, Put It Back," and it was basically a ripoff of a episode of Different Strokes.
There you go. Well, I think that we need to have a special Think Outside the Blocks episode where where it's going to be called this.
Waiting for a banner. Nothing like do 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 do. Watching us type out a new banner. Think outside the books. Ooh.
We can read Frederick and the Seasons. We can read Monica's book about saving the flock of birds. We can read If You Stole Something, Put It Back.
I would say I don't even think I still have that. And again, we could just we can maybe
We
watch
could just watch the episode of
Different Strokes.
Different Strokes.
I was in a playwriting class for 3 years, and I might
Yeah.
be able to like bring in a 10-minute play that I'm particularly proud of. Maybe that, if we're going to think outside the books.
I do want to give one of these though. Also in that Nintendo showcase, nothing about what everybody's been waiting for forever, at least on my side of the equation for Metrovania folks.
I
No
know.
news on Silksong, Hollow Knight Silksong, still nothing. Will
So
the game ever come out?
is that
Nobody
Metroid?
knows.
Is that Metroid?
It's very Metroid-ish. It's a Metroid-esque
Okay.
game that's
So
been rumored to be in development for basically 6 years now.
I think, correct me if I'm wrong, I think Nintendo fans who are fans of the Nintendo brand itself, if you're a Metroid fan, like you're the most disappointed of all Nintendo fans, because they very rarely have updates. They very like there's only been a couple, and it's a very popular game.
It's the reason I bought a Switch OLED, was just to play Metroid Dread. Only thing. Now my kids use it instead now, but it was the entire thing.
Um,
So
and perhaps we can talk to Tricky Bricks and see if they want to be on our Think Outside the Books, because he's going back to school to be a librarian. I have a friend who went back to school to be a librarian, and then she ended up being a legal librarian, and now she makes a very lot of money.
yeah.
A very lot of money. That's a
Um,
term people say all the time.
yeah, Monica, don't worry about finding the book now. This is a future episode where we'll do Think Outside the Books. I have to get the book from my sister as well. Okay, so now that we've heard about Nintendo,
Oh, we're not done.
oh, that's right. We need to talk about Nintendo too.
Yeah, come on.
Switch 2. So nothing new from Mark continues. Then we'll move to Need to Pay the Bills, Newborn Explorers, and then a bunch of news. It's going to be a exciting show still. So Switch 2, let it rip.
All right, Switch 2. Nothing official yet, but because they work with so many third-party markets, there's a bunch of people who have leaked that they're working with Nintendo on the new system, and it's basically going to be something very similar. Perhaps have something more like the what was the one that had the removable portion that the flipped up. It was not the GameCube, not GameCube. Before the Wii, what was it?
Before the Wii was the GameCube. They also had the
Okay.
Wii, the Wii U. They had a Nintendo 3DS. They had a bunch of things.
3DS had the thing that you can flip open. And,
Yeah,
like, yeah. So it might be some sort of like uh, pairing of the not pairing of the two, like, but it's something that's kind of a hybrid. There we go,
hybrid.
of the two. But Nintendo is always like has always like kept all their news very close to the chest. And although they've seen some patents that look like the Switch meets the DS, they deny that that has anything to do with any product that they're actually making. They just want the patent in case someone tries to make something like it. But that they've said that before about new products that they've um, gotten patents on that ended up being actual products. So we know something is coming. We know it's probably coming in 2024. We hope, I know everyone hopes that we'll see a new um, Animal Crossing property in that. It'll probably be something like Mario or Donkey Kong to start it out with, but hopefully in the next few years we'll see a lot of new um, games from their specific IPs as the new system is developed. It's time for it to be developed because one of the most aggravating things about the Switch is that because it's whatever age it is now, memory is way lagging, like compared to other game systems. So hopefully they'll have something that's like updatable memory, something that can like uh, keep up with all their graphics, especially a game like Animal Crossing, where it's just like you can keep adding items, but if you have too many items in a certain area, you lag when you go through that area. Also, with like a Breath of the Wild, you have the same sort of thing where it's like there's some bigger animations that won't actually keep up. We've seen Ben play Fortnite on here, where it's like it's not keeping up with what he's doing, glitches sometimes. But in Zelda Breath of the Wild as well, it is slightly a cozy game where you can farm and collect things and decorate things. And so not only does it have its bigger animation areas start to lag, when you're building these new areas, trying to be creative, it might also lag on you as well. So I think Nintendo's it's their turn to get way ahead of that and not have that be a problem because the way technology jumps and improves so quickly, um, they can't afford to sit around on a system for several years without being able to keep up in some way.
It's still extremely popular,
Oh yeah,
and I kind of get worried with Nintendo that to some extent they don't go cutting edge because they want to produce an experience as well. They don't want to be on the cutting edge. They'd rather be a half generation behind. But right now they're like 4 generations behind. So they do need to get updated hardware. It'll probably still be a little behind, the absolute fastest thing out there, but at least if it's modern enough to do your experience without some of these detractions that Mark mentioned, that would be nice.
go play.
So, oh, thanks. I'll head out. You must have a friend there.
She was she was like sticking her nose between the rails in the back of the chair. And so I just felt this cold nose against like the small of my back, and I was like, "What? Okay, hi." She's
Yeah.
she's feeling a little neglected, I guess. She had a ton of exercise today, so she can just calm down. What's next?
Well, we need to pay the bills, even
Oh,
though
sure do.
everything you're going to talk about is not actually a sponsor of this stream.
That's true.
But regardless, they are things that we like or have faith in or have purchased ourselves that we like to promote. So
Yeah,
why don't you let it rip on some of that stuff,
we get money from none of these people, um, and so let's take a look.
including Dots
First
Pretzels.
one, we're going to start with this one. It's called the Pick Up Bricks Toy Cleanup System Vacuum for Kids. Works with Lego bricks, laugh out loud, doll accessories, and more. B-Box. My mom bought me this for Christmas this year, and today, when I punted my Technic pin bin, which is a shoebox size, I pulled this thing out, and I was like, let's see if this actually works. It works. By the way, in this, here, let me go ahead and I want to show you guys what happened in here. Like, oops,
Goodness.
I just lost all my screens. Where's my mouse? Oh, here it is.
It's
Um,
there.
solo layout. I don't know if you can see in there. Do you see the Brickworld lanyard that got sucked in there? It grabbed everything, and there's a filter in there. You can see the gray, like the slats in the bottom of the gray. It filters the dust out, so you can get clean bricks out of there. And the fan is strong. If I wasn't careful about where I was pointing it, it was blowing the pins across the room on the other side because the output is at the bottom. And I was just kind of like doing it like this, like grabbing as much as I could. It grabbed 2x4 bricks. It grabbed the entire the long Technic pin connectors, the 5 long Technic pin connectors. I I was going near them thinking I was just going to get the small pins, and it just pulled everything in, including the lanyard, and it didn't get clogged with the lanyard. This thing is fantastic. My mom bought it for me, and I was like, what a cute mom thing to do, right? But it saved me today because I was not in the mood to punt an entire bin of
Um,
Technic pins.
did you ever have the official Lego roll along pickup brick thing, the red one with the base plate that you could
No,
slide out? I
no.
have one somewhere. I've got to find it.
Do you know the argument I got in with somebody on Lugnet because I thought they were talking about when they said the red Lego vacuum? I'm like, that's a Fabuland piece. And they're like, no, it was more like a Duplo thing, and I was like, you're dumb. I was so aggravated with this person.
No,
I, well,
I
yeah,
don't know where it is, so I don't know that I'm gonna go
because that thing,
hunt for
like
it. But it
that's
has
a way
big,
to like kill
like
your.
4 yellow fins in the front, and you
Yes,
drag it along the carpet, and it pulls bricks in. I don't think it worked great,
yeah.
but it does exist.
It'll
I'm gonna
kill.
find it here in a little bit.
It'll kill your quads, your calves, your back. Like you had to push it along the floor. It was a manual vacuum. It was
Yes.
basically like a rotating scoop. It's the best way to describe it. We can find pictures of it. Big Nate Bricks is here. He just dropped by to say hi. Well, stick around a bit. Hang out with us and see if you like what we're talking about. And by the way, if you guys like this, please click like on this video. Please subscribe if you haven't already. You'll get amazing things like notifications that we're live and other stuff
And
like
other things.
things. Yeah. And then also, feel free to comment on the show if you're sitting here and you're watching it for the first time or the 40th time and you're not commenting. Please, we love to put comments up on the screen. We love to have a conversation with you guys. We've already talked to you about D's Bricks. This is his Brickling store, Biggest Bricks. It's his birthday. Again, I'm going to check out with $143.30 worth of brick from him. It's going to come quickly. It's going to come well packaged, and there's a great amount of stock in there. I'll probably go back and look. Probably end up spending over $200 just so that I have enough built next week to show you all on the live stream after we discuss Lego Crimes.
We do Lego Crimes.
And
And Don says, "Did I pop in to hear you diss your mom?" No. He in fact said, "It seemed like a cute mom thing, but in fact he was mistaken. It's actually an awesome thing that his mom got for him."
I kind of
So,
rolled my eyes at my mom like, yeah, you bought me a Lego vacuum. Then tonight I needed it.
yes, Mark's mom for the win.
So go Mark's mom, which is what we put on her badge at the shows. She insists on them saying Mark's mom because that's how everyone refers to her. Like,
That's what I call her.
hi, Mark's mom. How are you?
Hi, Mark's mom.
So up on the screen right now is ACOB, a couple of brickheads. If you don't know who they are, you should check them out Thursday evenings at 8 p.m. Central. They've got an excellent show. If you're a Lego Star Wars fan, you don't want to miss it because they really know their Lego Star Wars, but they also talk about other things like your budget and all the new Lego sets coming out and everything. And they're just a lot of fun to watch. Good, fun group of people. Also, what do you know? They're hosting Brickworld this year. They're our first official content creator hosts. ACOB is hosting Brickworld Chicago this year. They've got a lot of fun stuff planned, including M&R Productions versus Duck Bricks rap battle, which will be happening live at Brickworld Chicago this year. You don't want to miss it. You don't want to miss their stream. You want to know who these people are. We're talking about Bricker Builds. They do all of our shows as well. If you love IPs that aren't actually IPs, they've got some amazing sets. They got some really good designs. If you see them at a show, go interact with them because they're a lot of fun. They just want to talk to you. They just want to be part of the community. They want to make sure everyone's having a good time. Bricker Builds, check them out at brickerbuilds.com if you're not aware of who they are. See them at the next Brick World show or check out their website. Brickshell Cases. Oh, we've talked about this so much here, but this is a great company. Ben and I both have this product. I'm going to talk about the wall mount displays real quick. This is what I have in order right now. If you look at this, it goes on your wall. and it fits minifigures that you can display, and there's a magnetic front, so you can change them out at any time. So once this is installed in your once it's mounted on your wall, you can change these minifigures out as often as you like. Let's take a look at their original product, the minifigure podiums. They have all sorts of podiums at different sizes, but if you look here, they also have artwork on some of them. Like if you want to display your CMF collection from the Muppet Show, they've got the Muppet Show backdrop. They also have Disney 100. They have giant podiums for 40 Lego minifigures. They have the Looney Tunes. They have the Simpsons. They have Star Wars. They've got little podiums for 2 Lego figures. They got pretty much anything you can imagine, plus a lot of new products that are showcasing large sets like this. If you look at the Venator class Republic Attacker Cruiser, you can put that in a case. They also have just stands that you can put these. If you don't want them in a case, you can put it up on a stand. Look at this for the Millennium Falcon. Just 3 pieces of acrylic that'll hold that up. Look at that. If you're sick of having your Millennium Falcon out, which is the size of a coffee table, and you want to display it differently on a shelf or some sort of behind your what do they call those? The tables that sit behind your couch. Ben's showing off his right now. Let's take a look at yours, my friend. Ooh, is that is that Lord of the Rings? You told me this. I knew this. Ben, is your microphone off? Are you talking to me?
There's probably some reflection.
Yeah.
Because of the fact that I've got the light shining on it and we've got my screen and everything. But there you see a 30 pack, 30 figure case. I got more than 30 in there with all of my Lord of the Rings figures. So it looks very nice. Hopefully someone gets an ooh for it.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Well, look at this guy over here. Hold on.
Look what else I found quick.
I don't know.
Actually.
What'd you find?
The Lego vacuum.
Oh, nice.
Here it is. So this was the old school, like a little dusty.
So janky and gross.
But these wheels, we're losing some parts. This scooped up the Lego
Apparently
elements.
Cleaned out in a while.
And then there was
I love that.
a base plate that slides off the back so you can reach in there. And I do actually have a little bit of nonsense down inside.
And for nonsense.
So did it work well? Not really. Do I have one anyway? Yes, I do. Probably purchased by my mother.
Dawn, that is not
your mom.
That is not my mother's name. Dawn, don't call her that. That's what. Oh, that's what Dale calls her. That's right. He always gets her name wrong. So Dawn has a 24 minifig case for the Lego Masters 2 family. That's awesome. That's perfect, isn't it? Jesse says that N is for now a word from non-sponsors. It's very true.
Yes.
And we
didn't even promote dots or Girl Scout cookies, and of course we didn't promote Girl Scout cookies because Mark hates them.
And for no, we didn't. Oh, we can do that because your daughter's selling them. I'm not a monster. I keep telling you guys, I'm not a monster. And for not a monster. Oh, look at this! I love this. We're going to talk about this a little bit later. This is one of the topics for tonight. BH, aw, childhood. I thought it said, oh, childhood. We're going to talk about it more that way. But aw, childhood is a much nicer way to put it. So this is the case that Brickshell Cases made for a Fabuland fan. It was me. And this is all some of my favorite Fabuland characters in here. I knocked this off the table, scared the crap out of the dog. Poor dog ran upstairs to her bed. And it all went back together, nothing scratched. Very easy to put these pieces together. You can see the way that they're cut. They're laser cut acrylic. Oh, she wants some Girl Scout cookies. Is that the childhood thing, or was it the vacuum?
I think it's the vacuum.
That can give me a visceral feeling as well. But that was more like soak that thing in some peroxide and just.
Yeah, this thing needs some cleanup for sure.
Look how fun. Then we found out, let's be honest about the sponsors who aren't yet paying us. And I do love Brickshell Cases, and we do have a partnership planned, but I have to get off my butt and send them things like my sig fig and the artwork for 2024. And it's been a long 2024 so far. And I have like a backlog, and a, what do you call it, bottleneck. What was the one thing we found about this that we were kind of like, that could be improved?
Yeah, the distance between the studs is not a actual length of brick.
Mm-hmm.
So we think it would work better if between the studs that the minifigs are standing on, it was a even number of studs. Even an odd number of studs would be fine as long as it's a whole freaking stud.
Yeah.
So I think they're slightly more in the case I have, slightly more than 2 studs or 3 studs apart. They're not quite perfect. So that
And
might be a suggestion we make to them.
and I know they're very receptive to suggestions. They really like the AFOL community. They're really about like making sure that people have what they want in order to display their figures, their keepsakes. I keep telling them they should make one for Funko Pops. I know so many people who have Funko Pops that just stack up the boxes. I'm just like, let's see them outside of the boxes and have some fun with these sorts of things. I have not Happy Meal toys, but Adventure Meal toys from Arby's that I really liked to collect when I was a kid that I would love to put in a case like this. Um, but I mean, just like a great, really dynamic, fun way to display things that mean something to you. We're going to come back to this later when we talk about nostalgia, not nostalgia, nurturing.
Nurturing.
I I feel a little gross calling it that, but there's a very specific psychological reason that I called it what I did.
Nurturing. Yes.
Nurturing. So let's go back to thank you, Bricks
I
of
got
Hope.
you.
Yeah, we love this organization. They've been at Brick World Chicago the last 2 years. Yeah, because that's as many as we've had since I bought the company. So hopefully they'll be back this year. I need to make a phone call and make sure that they're going to be there. But what a great organization. They collect Lego sets. They give kids in need, especially kids in need whose families can't afford to give them the creature comforts that we are afforded in our lives. If you look there, what's this number at now? Hold on, my mouse fell asleep again. 1,665,660 individual bricks now in the hands of sick children, helping build hope in their recovery. What a great organization. Please check out this website, bricksofhope.org. Give to them if you can. If not, bring a small poly bag. Bring whatever you can to Brick World Chicago, drop off for them so that they can distribute those sets to kids in need. Super Hawk comes here a lot. They do all the Lego Expos. They're a lot of fun. You can check out their stream here on TikTok. They're very talented builders, but they've pivoted in the last year to creating activities that you can play. One of my favorite is bucket ball. You can kind of see this here. Let me make sure I mute it as soon as it's done. Where they make that's disc golf. Sorry,
It's
that's
golf.
disc golf. Yeah, they also make full spheres out of the same pieces that you can like toss into a bucket. They're all about interacting with the community, giving guests of all ages to Brick World something to do, and they're very very good with the public and make sure that they have a good time. And that's it. Those are our sponsors. Those are the need to pay the bills. Now a word from our non-sponsors, but they're people we love and they're people who mean a lot to us and that we want them to mean something to you as well.
I think when Hawk, I don't want to say Hawk's real name, was
I am. Oh, you mean that Hawk? Sorry. You go. Keep going. Sorry.
when Hawk, when
Mm-hmm.
Josh was playing the games, every time he'd let me play bucket ball
I thought you
against
meant
a
Hawk.
kid. No, I meant the Hawk and the Super Hawk. Every time he would let me play bucket ball against a kid, I would lose every time. The kids always kicked my butt. For some reason, and I don't know where they got these buckets. They look like the small hotel trash cans.
They're like IKEA trash cans.
Yeah, little small
Yeah.
ones. You have to have a really good shot to get it in there.
And
Hand-eye coordination, not good enough for it. The kids would kick my butt every time.
and the weight is odd on them. It's like trying to sink a wiffle ball. The first time they threw one at me, I was walking by, I was doing something, I was really busy. They're like, "Hey, think fast," and I caught it. I threw it, sunk it. It was like it didn't hit the sides of the. I've never been able to sink one since. Like you cannot pay me to do it again.
I know, and I'm like, I've practiced more than any of these kids because I've, challenged like 6 of these kids. Lose every time. It's like
All
doesn't matter. Underhand, overhand, between my legs, behind my back. It's never going in. The kid's just like, bloop.
Ben, as
Yeah.
long as we're talking about news in a bit, what do you think about this? Should we let her do it? What do
I
you,
mean,
what do you think about that, Dawn?
she is a friend of the show.
Okay, I was going to say no, but if you say
Um,
yes,
wow.
I'm sorry. That's dark. I I meant it as a joke, but when it came out of my mouth, I was like, that might really come off. Maybe I'll have to do another TikTok about Mark being a D. Hey Dawn, if you send that to me on Discord, I'll share the link or text it to me, email. You know how to get a hold of me because she always has to because I'm N for notorious at like N for not responding. I'm busy. Like I'm really drowning, to be honest.
No one believes that. Okay, well,
And for no one believes that.
uh,
Oh look, she already sent it.
okay, well, good. So while we are working on getting that up and running, we wanted to talk very briefly about newborn
Oh,
explorers.
let's do that. Actually, as you start talking about that, I'm going to take a break. But
What do you know?
it's only been two tonight, right?
That's pretty good.
I'm proud of myself.
Okay, so this was the gift with purchase. I was hearing that it may be sold out. Let's get a nice focus in on this. Oh, how adorable is this? The micro launch pad set. Classic space meets babies. If this doesn't make you melt with nostalgia and or hilarity, I don't know what will. I'm not sure, even as adorable as this set is, that I will ever be able to open this because it is just too precious, too absolutely precious. Now look at all that. We've got the tiny rover there, the rocket ship. We've got a Galaxy Explorer in mini form with a baby. If this doesn't make you scream, I'm in love with little Lego, I don't know what will. It is probably the cutest thing that I have ever seen. The back, this is kind of a take on several classic space sets, all with the scaled down version to work with the space babies. And it is just the cutest, most adorable thing I think I have ever seen. Besides my daughter making a video to sell Girl Scout cookies, which we might share later too. Not because I actually need to sell anymore, but just because I want everyone to see how adorable she is. But yes, a number of people are saying also struggling to open that one. And I can understand why. This is incredibly adorable in every way, shape, and form.
So you have not
Um,
opened it yet.
no, I don't know if I can. I feel
What?
almost like here's the other thing: you had to spend $200 to get this.
Yeah.
Um, March 1st, I could easily spend $200 because there's going to be a bunch of good new sets,
Yeah.
but we're still a week away from March 1st. I did pick up a few sets that I had on my wish list in order to get up there, but it's one of those things where, you know, it's so darn cute. I don't know if I'm going to be able to open this. If I go to my Bricks and Minifig store and they have it on sale for $30, I would buy it. I'm sure it'll be more.
I'm
It
gonna
is
say
just too adorable.
I'm gonna jump in real quick to say I'm glad that Hawkeye was having the same thought process I was having. We have a bunch of people that love how adorable this is. Moon babies as opposed to sewer babies. Um, Struggling to open it as well. Alternate candidate.
Hmm.
Reed says had the wheeled vehicle as a kid. Yes, it's
Yeah, with that rocket on it.
and for nostalgic. Um,
Hmm.
Missed out on space babies. Well, there'll be an opportunity to be price gouged for it at every show you go to. And
Yeah,
nothing against our vendors; they got to make their money too.
it is just adorable. Absolutely love it.
Hawkeye has not yet opened his Hunter's Fortress.
But wow.
There's something great about the box, yeah. I want you to be able to enjoy those space babies, so we're gonna have to find a way to get you another one somehow, right?
I don't know. I mean, of course, the other person I think of with this is Simon Liu.
I do too.
Space and babies. I mean,
Yes.
That's Simon for you.
It is 100%.
That was a very brief topic, but we need a couple short ones here because we've got an action-packed show today, which isn't bad.
Do we got some? We got some news.
But let's talk about some news. Let's start with
Oh,
Narcs.
can we? Before we go to Narcs, I want to
Yeah.
share. I want to share Dawn's and for news. She has a Lego idea set, and also I have to open the I have to open the what's it called? The window because I had to restart my computer.
Okay.
But here we go. This is Dawn's Lego idea set. So it is to all the good.
Aha.
It's adorable. And let's see where she at. She's got 970 supporters with 55 days left. You guys, she needs some support. We need to make this happen. Let me see. Oops, I'm not logged in. I don't want you guys to see my login information. Otherwise, I'd support it right now. Look how cute. Dawn is great at building cute. So if you are a fan of this set and you want to see this created as a set that you can buy in stores, check out To All a Good Night on legoideas.com. Now, as we're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to go to shop.lego.com. I'm going to show you guys my fun new link that I found today.
Yeah. Monica, I don't even know that we can mention all of the times we think Lego's gotten itself in a little bit of hot water for
Hey,
copying a mock or an ideas submission.
at this point of our live stream, Lego has no idea who we are. Well, they know who I am, but like they don't know that we're doing this.
They don't know
So
me.
at this point, we're not really getting ourselves in any trouble. What's the thing? Because I don't know.
Well, I mean, there's been a number of things. I don't know who Dana K is for what they've copied, if this is a Space Babies microscale thing, but I think about in particular, probably the big one would be the Ghostbusters Firehouse, which was an idea submission. It technically won, but the only thing they produced from that was the Ecto one, and then a couple years later they produced a Firehouse, which looked very similar to the idea submission. There have been a couple of times where they've done something like that that's felt a little off. We'll just say, but it must be something similar. So Monica's saying, I'm guessing theirs was in development before his was shared. Maybe he did a Space Babies thing.
Maybe.
But yeah, I mean, it's happened a couple times where it's kind of like, oh,
Well,
there we go.
if theirs was in development before,
It was seen at Brick World 2023. What do you know? Pesky Brick World.
yeah, stuff like that happens. And honestly, those things do sit in development for quite a while, and sometimes they are coincidences. Just to play devil's advocate, my favorite pinball machine game, if you're a Simpsons fan. But yeah, we do see it happen, and there's so much out there. And with the way social media works now, when we put ourselves out there, we do risk. Talk to Crystal and Pete about their stuff being sold overseas.
Yep.
Literally, the mock they created. Who knows if it would come out of the box that way?
Yeah. Well, and I mean, part of this too, this is probably the type of idea that Lego can steal for nothing, because Dana's copying their sets already, turning them to micro scale. So, I don't know, but did Lego even know? Who knows?
Yeah.
But it was, regardless of anything else, it's an adorable set. That's all I'm
Yeah.
gonna say.
Monica says he had to make a purchase to get the GWP.
Well, he probably didn't have to if he had them all built already, Mr. Fancy Pants.
Well, like,
But
I
there's
think like
some cute pieces in there. So
I think the Lego ideas, when it comes down to your set winning and being produced, I don't think they get much.
I don't think so either. It's still nice to be recognized, though. Maybe at the very least they get a free set of their set, right?
I think that's it. That's the only thing I thought of too. I think that's like the thing.
Did it come with a baby in a white suit? Yes, I believe there's a white baby and a blue baby in there. Yes, one of each. One white baby, one blue baby. Space baby. No red space baby. No yellow space baby, which just looked like a naked space baby. So
They get 10 sets and 1% of sales. We have
Okay.
what's that called when you have corroboration from 2 of the tainted. Oh, 3. Oh, wait, whoops. Hold on.
I have copies
No,
of
we don't.
yours on about 2% up to 20K, and that's it.
What is it?
We don't know.
I don't know how I found this. I think it was, I checked the freaking shop.lego.com website every day to see when we can get the damn Animal Crossing sets for pre-order. Can we just get them already? Can I just know that they're going to show up on March 1st, please? But it doesn't change. It just says available March 1st. I think I'm just going to have to wait. Or I'm going to have to go in like 5 days before March 1st to Target because they'll probably get them out on the shelves early. I want Maple. I found this link, Lego compliance line, and when it said line, I thought it was a line of sets. I'm like, what's Lego compliance mean? Like, what is this about? But this is fun. This is N for Narcs on our run of show.
Yeah.
The Lego compliance line. Speak up. Report a concern or follow up on your concern. The Lego compliance speak up line for third parties of the Lego group. If you, as a third party of the Lego group, believe that there has been a breach or suspected breach of any laws, the Lego group responsible business principles, Lego group policies, standards, or behaviors, then you should use our Lego compliance speak up line. This is a confidential service provided to the Lego Group by an independent company where any third party of the Lego Group can raise concerns. Fascinating.
Hmm.
I just found this fascinating. Like I don't want to like sit on one side or the other of like this issue of compliance, but I was just like interesting that they have it on their website. And they're not necessarily promoting it, but it's like if you have a concern, like how many reports then could we make it could just from the Blockoverse?
Oh, 49 plus 1,000. A
I was
lot.
thinking 49,000. Yeah. Yeah. Interesting, right? That's it. Short topic. And for narcs, there we are. Being a
Yep. Yeah, early releases are always a bit of a tricky subject because sometimes they're out on the shelf early and they won't sell them to you. Sometimes they're out on the shelf early and you can buy them.
yeah.
Depends on the store, depends on all kinds of stuff.
I mean,
Friday Night Bricks is saying, found the animal sets at Kohl's,
already?
Animal Crossing sets.
Oh, I guess
I'm not surprised.
25th. Yeah, I said 5 days before, and February only has how many days? There's only
29,
4 days.
29 this year.
Yeah. So I guess I should go to Target tomorrow.
What
Uh-huh.
happens if you have a false claim?
You
I
can
thought of
follow up on
something
it.
inappropriate to say there, but I'm not going to. So
Follow this one, and you can
you can follow up.
follow up on it and be like, hey, my claim was false. Sorry. Perhaps.
Follow up on your own claim to say it's false.
Yeah, sure. Isn't that
Okay,
the responsible thing to do?
let's talk about
For
the
now.
next one, Notre Dame. So what do we know about Notre Dame other than
I
it's
don't know.
happening?
No,
Well, we know it's happening. What else do we know?
I don't know. I still don't know.
Hmm.
Same answer.
Hmm. Hmm. So what do you want to tell us about it, Mark?
I don't know because we talked about this when we had our meeting. We couldn't find anything about it. Did you find something?
I still can't.
Oh,
Uh,
great. This is a great topic. But we know what's happening.
mhm.
Yeah, great.
um, what
What?
we can say about it is that we're confident it's happening, but that's it.
Yeah, good story.
It's a another large architecture-esque set for a
Yeah.
landmark. They've done several. They've done 2 versions of the Eiffel Tower for some reason. They've also done 2 versions of the Taj Mahal,
Yeah.
and now apparently we're getting Notre Dame. It'll have some beautiful architecture. Hopefully, this is the pre-burnt down version, right?
That'd be
Um,
awkward if they were just like, here it is on fire.
I'm sure there'll be some rude people doing some mocks to that end, though.
Oh, people do their stuff.
There's actually no question that that's going to be part of it.
Well,
But I don't know. I'm excited for the architecture of whatever they produce because I'm sure it's going to have a lot of useful pieces. Don, okay, see,
Reed saw them and did not buy them. I'm just gonna leave that there.
So Reed likes to claim that he's my arch nemesis. Now I think he might be your arch
Oh,
nemesis.
we're done.
Um, Don suggests that maybe it's just a box of melted bricks. That's rude, Don, but maybe.
I love this.
I don't know.
Alternate candidate has like a litmus test or like a radar on this. A Target street dates normally. Walmart generally doesn't care, and Kohl's never seems to care.
But here's the interesting thing.
Where's there a Kohl's in Chicago?
I know where Kohl's is right here in Roseville, Minnesota. I might be stopping there tomorrow. But here's the thing.
Not what I asked.
Before we did a Christmas Eve special live stream where
I
Mark and
know,
I took a look at some sets that we purchased at Target.
in the morning of Christmas Eve, drove back in St. Louis, drove to Chicago, and was like, Ben, we got to do this. Like,
And I went out and I scooped some up. They sold them to me. I then went to Walmart where they had some sets out that were pre street date releases, including the
yeah,
Narwhal set. They would not sell them to me. So
interesting.
it was kind of a little opposite that time. It'd
Mm-hmm.
be nice to know that maybe Kohl's never cares and they just suffer the wrath of Lego. But if you're really upset about it, you can probably call the compliance line and
Yeah,
narc on them. I don't know.
that one too. And for no rhyme or reason, release dates.
Yeah.
Whatever. Yeah, yeah.
But Lego did the same thing with the
At the mall,
museum.
there are no malls in Chicago. Oh, you mean Schaumburg? That's not Chicago, sir. That's Schaumburg. I live in Chicago. It's a different, very, very different.
Yeah, a
I
number.
drive 45 minutes to get to Schaumburg, and then I'm miserable the entire time I'm there because everything's so far that I can't walk places.
Poor Mark.
Yeah, right? I
Um,
thought so too.
but let's get into something we do at least have a early picture of,
Ooh,
and that would be the Neverwinter Journey's End. Of
yeah,
course,
yeah.
I had to put the N in there for Neverwinter. I believe that is a area in Dungeons and Dragons. Jesse will tell me if I'm wrong, but I think it is.
Okay, hold on one second. Yes, Monica Berry, we do. Because Brickworld Schaumburg wouldn't be very easy to sell. We do the same thing with Brickworld Detroit, which is in Novi or other places, and like Milwaukee, which is in West Dallas. It's just a thing that happens. It's called marketing. Anyway, sorry, I bristled.
It's called marketing, Don.
Not sorry.
This, of course, is the 10K now about to become a thing. Journey's End Dungeons and Dragons um, set. This is the ideas part, and Jesse does confirm that D&D does have Neverwinter. So I did pull out an N somehow for D&T.
You called that during our meeting. You were like, I think Neverwinter is a thing, and I was like, all
Yes,
right, I have no
yes.
idea. You go with you.
And so this was the idea submission. I know there have been early set pictures of this as well that you can find. I believe I also saw on Jesse's Instagram. If you want to follow Jesse's Brick Galaxy, of the unofficial, unreleased, leaked image. However, we do know that there will be some announcement coming very soon on this because Lego has released a teaser for um, AK, because they have listed a teaser for the D&D announcement. So this set will be coming out in some variety. I believe the one I saw, Dragon was a different color, not quite as fancy, among other things. But it is a definite thing that's coming out. The other big rumor, and I think Paige just mentioned it, that there will be CMFs for Dungeons and Dragons. I have heard this as well. So I don't know if Jesse is like a secret mole that works at Lego, and he's just telling them that they need to do all these things for him or what. But both having a Dungeons and Dragons set as well as a CMF line, he's basically in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
I like to pop in whenever I can when they're doing critical bricks, um, to watch them play some D&D plus Lego. Jesse says, I deleted it just in case someone was watching. So I did see the picture that Jesse had, but he's doing the responsible thing and hiding it.
You know, I heard a rumor that they're going to come out with a Animal Crossing CMAF line, but I basically started that rumor. just based off hope.
You're just hoping for that one.
Yes.
Um, you know,
Yeah,
I don't know.
I do know.
If Jesse wants to say something about this, I could totally send him a link to the stream. And you could pop in if you want to, Jesse. You can just post in the
Oh yeah.
comments if you want to, and I'll do that. Um, but yeah, it's a very exciting time for D&Ders.
Mm-hmm.
Even if they delete their Instagram post to hide it. So,
Good point.
and Jesse confirms he will be hoarding Lego D&D, Lego times D&D. Um, alternate candidate says as Mark presses at ME2, been hearing now it's definitely not a good time to publish early images.
Why is that?
I don't know. Are they cracking down again and trying to get you on their compliance line or what? But
I'll
it's
call.
definitely a thing. So
Watch out for this.
yeah, third party
Yeah.
compliance line. Okay, well if Jesse has anything to say about that, maybe we'll hear from him in a minute. But we can talk about another news item in the meantime, and this one's yours from AV Club.
Yeah. So basically, there's an article this week from AV Club about the 10-year anniversary of the Lego Movie and how it changed um, the landscape of making a movie based off of a toy. And it's a not really an in-depth article. It basically says that there were so many properties before it that did poorly. Like maybe Clue was one of the best ones before the Lego Movie, and when people saw that there was a Lego Movie coming out, they thought it would just be like product promotion, but like the in-depth character development they went into, blah blah blah. And the follow-ups weren't bad either. Lego Movie 2 is fantastic. Lego Batman movie is one of my favorite movies ever. And then the Lego Ninjago movie kind of killed the momentum somehow. Um, and we haven't seen anything since. That's one of the reasons I brought this up is because they sold their movie rights to another company. I can't remember if it was originally Warner Brothers or if they sold it to Warner Brothers, but nothing has come of it since. So I'm hoping we see something soon, especially with as many properties out there that they have that are original stories, which we saw did not work well with Ninjago. But then we talked about something else in that, Ben, that there's a Playmobil movie. And
There is.
you said you enjoyed it.
I don't know if I said that. I think I said I've seen it.
What'd you?
Um,
Because I was surprised at the voice cast.
yeah, no, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great either. It was, they had a plot that revolved around sort of a spy and a double cross and a person who essentially gets sucked into the Playmobil world. That's kind of the
Okay.
big plot, is that it's actual people who have got this giant like historical Playmobil setup. I don't even remember where it's at, a museum or somewhere. And this kid gets sucked into it. I'm sure he's having some family problems with his sister or something, and then she's got to go in and save him, and
Yeah.
hilarity ensues, right? But it was just, I don't know. It was okay. Let's just say that.
I would say I would like to see Lego go back to their movie universe because I think even like the weakest of the three I mentioned, obviously the weakest of the four I mentioned is the Lego Ninjago movie, but the weakest of the three that I enjoyed would have been Lego Movie 2, but still very enjoyable. Um, and I would worry that them getting back into it with the way that they got so many departments and so many IPs. They seem to not care much about that for the first Lego movie, where they just got everything together. Like every IP was represented. There were surprise cameos from characters and voice actors that you wouldn't think were going to be there. I would worry that it would turn out very much like the 50th anniversary Disney movie Wish, which I have not seen. So I'm just basing this on all the reviews that I've read, or the 100. I said 50. Disney 100. Sorry. Oh yeah, they're that old. I'm that old. The I one of my deep dives, like I told you, like your sovereign citizen.
Yes, yes.
I have a new sovereign citizen in my life. By the way, I'll tell you about it in a second. About seeing proving that Wish was written by AI. I would worry that it would turn into something like that with like them protecting themselves and like so I don't know that they could recreate it, but I'd like to see them try. I'd like to see them
Yeah.
get back to it because it was a fun universe.
Well, I think part of it too is they had a good understory on both of them about creativity.
Yeah.
Something that resonates obviously with us from relationships among family with Lego and how they, you know, can use the bricks in different ways and what's been perceived as the wrong way by the dad.
Yeah.
The relationship between the kids and the second one. So there was some family stuff in there that made
Oh, yeah.
sense for me because, I had experienced that as a Lego fan.
Well, and then
So it
on
did
a
a good job of capturing that stuff.
on a tertiary note, then it's like the Lego Batman movie lampooned an existing IP. Like I've never seen anything parodied before where they love it and they made fun of it, and it was just like it's just genius. Every part of that. So they trusted writers to take it and run with it and do what they wanted to do with the DC property and make it Lego at the same time. Um, see them be able to do that again would be fantastic. I would love to see a Lego Batman movie too. But they could do that with other properties that they have IPs for as well. It's just like the partnership seems to have fallen apart after the Lego
Yeah.
Ninjago movie. I'd love to see that happen again because the creativity involved in the top three of those movies was fantastic, and they could just really bring in like family movie experiences are something that we still like. I the other day at the dog park, Orion made a new friend, the giant red retriever, a red golden, and just the happiest, dumbest red golden you've ever seen. And his name is Fezzik. And I
Aw.
immediately knew who he was named after. And it's just because my family constantly quotes The Princess Bride. And it's just like that sort of like movie that connects you to other people, connects you to your family, connects you to your friends. Like that sort of experience. That's what those three movies created for me. Not as many people with this Lego Movie 2, but enough where it was like what the Lego Movie 2 did for the first Lego movie was like expanded the canon where people almost think of the movies as the same. And
Okay.
I think they could and should continue it. But it's just kind of like it struck me in reading the article. Like I said, AV Club doesn't go too in depth with much. I think they're just like read it fast. It struck me that it's been 10 years. Oh yes, is he coming in? Ah, Jesse!
There
Jesse,
he is.
look, we're here together,
Yes.
and I'm on
I
the ship.
I sent out the bat signal and look who answered the bat
I'm
signal.
like,
Yep.
get off the couch. I had to turn off the TV because sometimes I watch it on the big screen and then
Ooh.
connect from the phone. And then when you're connected on the phone, you don't get alerts for things. And I'm like, oh, maybe he sent me a message. And I was like, oh, sure enough.
I did.
So
I did.
technology.
I'm so happy we're all three of us here together on a regular night where you weren't already co-hosting for me and I just popped in.
yeah.
Yeah,
Thanks.
that's happened. Agree, alternate candidate. It's an amazing one. So
Yay, Lego Team B.
you got some D&D stuff to share with us, sir?
Man, it's like all us like nerdy people or whatnot. You're introverted, and then somebody starts talking to Lego with you, and now my new hobby passion is D&D. So it's like, oh, somebody wants to talk Dungeons and Dragons. I could probably go on and on. So I don't know much that I can say about this project, but I'm super hyped that there will be a crossover and CMFs. I am very hopeful that people will like that, and it's just like, I don't know if I saw it coming. I mean, I knew the 50th was coming up, and then the official announcements and release dates, and that's about it. in the chat, I threw out a teaser. So the only official image is this gelatinous cube
Gelatinous
thing,
cube.
and it
Right.
doesn't really like have anything to do with this Dragon Castle set.
That's
so,
weird.
and I don't know what
True.
it means. It's more questions.
I mean, they're very clear from this cube that it is Dungeons and Dragons related. It's about that, but that's really all they tell you. Inside the cube, and I'm trying to find it here because I know I've seen it. There's a skeleton minifigure and a few other odd bits.
Yeah, nothing. Yeah, common items. You'd see a sword and a shield. There's a shield on there, and so if you guys are any castle experts, I wouldn't know if that is maybe a new print on the shield.
There it is.
It looks like a.
Yeah, I mean that. What strikes me about that particular shield. It's a circular shield with a print on it. It looks different than any of the ones I've seen. It gives me a certain amount of Legend of Zelda vibes, quite honestly, more than anything. But obviously, this is specific to the Dungeons and Dragons world. Also, those tiles down at the bottom outside the cube, they almost look like Beskar from Star Wars. So I don't know. We got a lot of weird crossover here.
It looks like there's 2 round tiles and 1 ring.
A ring for sure, a key in the cube, and
some coins.
a flying
it looks like just a brown 2x4 brick.
Is there a penguin?
I don't know.
Is that shadowy form there? I don't know. I think that's yeah, that looks like something behind there. So all I can take from this is more to come, is what I would be my hopeful self is saying, which means that the CMF plus a character or a little bad guy or some accessories is to also coming.
Yeah, I mean this video is just the cube. I mean this is all you see. This is their entire entire thing. That's it.
That's the teaser.
So it's strange. 8-second video of nothing.
It specifically says Lego ideas.
If you look at the idea set, and there,
is this the idea set here?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's no cube in there.
Right.
So, but there are other monsters, and there's definitely players, and I think they're going to go that route. But yeah, I'm just hopeful for more. I can confirm that if you're like me and going to D&D sites, they also validate that they are, crossing over D&D/Lego on D&D pages.
Where do people get this information? They've got 12 characters listed here. Would you be excited about these if that was true?
Yeah. There's 4 or 5 normal, barbarian, this and that, but there's a few like Strahd von Zarovich is the curse. He's the vampire, big bad, very classic vampire. And we're actually playing in that campaign with my in real life players outside of Critical Bricks. And then Gith the Yankee is from a big Baldur's Gate thing. So I think Baldur's Gate has been a huge uplift in the D&D community.
And with Baldur's Gate 3 being really popular right now, it could make a sense for a general crossover.
Mind Flayers and Gith the Yankee Warlock play right into the Baldur's Gate themes. Tasha is
Stranger Things as well.
What's that?
Stranger Things as well.
Oh yeah, I mean, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's right in there with I don't think they have Demogorgon in there, but I mean, I'm just like hopeful that more is to come.
Not yet.
Yeah, Tasha has a book, her book of Cauldron of Everything. So Cauldron in there, that makes sense. Dragonborn, a lot of people like to play Dragonborn, and Tieflings. Arakora is like a bird creature, so I could see them try to reuse a Chima kind of thing and make that happen. But I'm hoping for some new molds, right? They're doing
Yep.
new molds for Animal Crossing. They're doing molds
Yeah.
for, I mean, they're not holding back.
They're doing a lot of multicolor molds. So
Even just for the normal, like, mystery, city, or all these costume characters is what I'm thinking
Yeah,
of.
the CMFs. I mean, they're doing tons of new molds for CMFs, and
You
these
know,
are CMFs. So I don't know why you
they'll
wouldn't
do an
do a
awkward
bunch.
cowboy riding a horse CMF.
it's like
There'll be no other use for that piece, right?
it's like what we always knew in like
Yeah.
ordering certain pieces from Lego when I worked at Legoland is that if it was made of multicolors, it came from China, and so we had to wait longer to procure those for anything that we needed them for. And so like even looking at things like the butterbeer mugs, like that takes a lot with like the what do they use? Polycarb for the transparent, like two transparent polycarb colors together. It takes a lot for them to produce it. So yeah, I mean, the more we see some of these like specific minifig parts come out, and they're doing it a lot more for their own lines as well, like Dreams. Yeah, it's very excited to see what they're capable of doing with something like this. Dungeons and Dragons, as much as I don't know about it, because I was raised a good born again Christian boy and we weren't allowed to play, so I don't know much about it at all.
I hear you.
But I mean, just how exciting for people who are Castle fans. Ben, just plug your ears for a second.
Castle fans.
Right.
But I mean, this is part of it, right? And Brick Orphanage says this, right? Do you think they'll underproduce the D&D CMS because they'll underestimate the demand? Because someone like Mark will say, I don't know anything about D&D.
But I'll
Well,
buy.
I'll tell you,
Yeah.
There's
I'll
a
tell
lot of
you right
crossover.
now.
Also, like, I'm trying to play devil's advocate if I was more of a D&D fan, which I kind of feel like I am this year, more than Lego. I'm putting more time into the game instead of, but I'm using Lego to play the game. So
Exactly. I was about to say that.
So there's people like me that, or other people just playing the game, right? Using and the dungeon master is one of whatever the party size is, so it's a small chunk of the merchandise, but using Lego will be more popular for the general public, I think, once this is out there.
Well, I would also say that if you go out to Bricklink and look at the prices of past CMFs, which ones are the most expensive? They're the historic army builder figures. They're the ones that seem to draw more attention and have higher prices. So I think if these figures are generic enough to be army builder type figures, they'll take off in Lego as much as they do at D&D fans.
Yeah. I mean, I've got the newest line, right? And the top 4 characters, at least for me, that people were talking about was probably the Bat Lord guy, very Castle-y. Harpy, which is very D&D.
Yep.
And the
Goat
goat guy,
herder.
of course, which is very medieval. And we had a barbarian, so I'm all about it. It's just my heyday.
I just tried to think outside the blocks and look for the leaked images of the actual set, but I couldn't find it.
Yes. Sounds like they're finally tamping down back on that again.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, I heard little mumblings, and I'm like, okay, I'll just take it down to be safe. And I had merged it with another photo and gave it a different background. So I think whatever robot was looking for the full image, I did not have. I only had like a sliver of it, which kind of kept me safe. But I don't want to rock the boat for other people in the community. And when it does come out, I want to try to cover it more legitimately. So
oh yeah, you can be on this show to talk about it. That was actually Mark and I talked about that specifically. He said, hey, what should we do on upcoming shows? I said, when the D&D set is actually announced, I want to do a special show with Jesse for sure to talk about it.
1,000%.
Much like we did with Mark Erickson for the medieval market, the medieval town square.
And how long ago was that? I want to say, like, if we're approaching, this month, the next month, and then April is the D&D month.
Yeah, I would say you'll probably see something mid-month, probably the second week, early second week.
Cool.
And of course, there's only 29 days in February, so we're only 4 days away from March, and then you'll probably have, probably 10 days from that, I would guess. March 11th, 12th. It's probably where we'll see an announcement. So, be pretty soon. It'll be exciting.
Yeah, I Can't wait. So I appreciate you guys inviting me to the show, but I don't know anything more than what you guys have talked about. And yeah, I think there is kind of a leak. Somebody like the usual guy, and I don't even want to say names because I don't know.
Being really careful
Is being really quiet right now, which means so the usual, like one of the usual like leakers is being really quiet now. So
look how fun this image is. I mean, I know that's artwork and not Lego, but how fun would it be if they got into some of these like locations too?
oh my gosh.
That's from the Lego Idea site. So that's their background banner for all the Dungeons and Dragons sets that are up.
Yeah.
That's put in one place because of the 50-year anniversary.
And they're partnering with Wizards of the Coast owns Dungeons and Dragons. So
Wow.
their combined artistic team is giving you these things. And
that is cool. Where do you get this information, Jesse? Because you just had that at the tip of your brain.
Well, I'm following like I'm watching more D&D content and gameplay than anything. So, and I use the site D&D Beyond for creating characters. The game has never been easier to play because you can go in and it'll do all the complicated modifier math for you as you level up and just pick a cool subclass or character upgrade. And
love that.
Yeah, so
love that. And they're going to be able to offer more of that the more they come out with AI image generation. Hopefully they're supplying their own images to generate those instead of stealing other people's. But I think they could probably do a ton with that in the future, especially if like more people are being interested in the brand. Did you see the movie?
Oh yes,
I love that movie.
Yeah, it was very fun.
So much fun.
Yeah.
Saw it on a plane on my way to Italy. Did you guys bring this comment up already? Paige Pritchard said she agrees.
Beholder shield, yeah, that could definitely be an eyeball in the center and other stocks of eyeballs. Good call.
Easier to reroll a character when your dungeon master kills your character. I think this needs to occur more frequently with Reed's character,
especially scares.
So yeah, I as a new DM, I wanted some notches in the belt, and one was to kill a player, and Reed happened to be that first player kill of mine.
Oh no!
It's true. It's true.
Right.
And more, there's always near-death experiences in the game, and you can usually come back from it as long as there's some healing.
Yeah.
But that's my job. Make it challenging.
Mm-hmm. And I like to pop onto Critical Bricks and just say cast distraction and be annoying as I'll get out and try to get under Reed's skin. But I get a couple one-liners in when I do make it on there. So I always enjoy listening to it, even if I don't play D&D. It's just fun to hear you guys play and
right.
kind of join along
an
the
excuse
adventure.
To sit around a table, if you will, virtual table, and throw some jokes at each other and puns and
throw a few barbs at Prontero the Barbarian or whatever his name was.
Yeah.
So I don't know what this is. Maybe it's just sadness for the fallen D&D character. I don't know, but
perhaps.
Oh, it could be. Yeah.
Hey, Reed. Sorry, Jesse. I just want to confirm this is you.
No.
Nope.
Okay.
The Critical Bricks logo is very much more Dungeons and Dragons-y.
I believe. Yeah, I don't know what that is.
I don't know what that is either.
There
it is.
Here you go. Jesse's Bricks Galaxy.
It's not like it needs to be as long as it is.
Oh, don't listen to this guy.
Yeah.
So you have to go to Jesse's Brick Galaxy. There you go.
That's what we want. So, if you guys are wondering what Critical Bricks is, check out Jesse's Bricks Galaxy on YouTube. This is a channel right here. You can find it by by searching on YouTube Jesse's Brick Galaxy and see all the episodes that he's put up. They play live D&D. If you're into D&D, sorry guys, I've had a cough for 6 weeks. It's still there. It's fighting hard.
Every Friday night that we can, which is 3 out of 4 Fridays. I used to do the superhero spoiler show. That was kind of my other content, is just watch a movie and cover all the Marvel stuff. And now it's the live D&D campaign. We just finished our first campaign. I kind of concluded it. 40 episodes and just over 1 year. And there's that cube. I was like, I'm using that for my thumbnail.
Yeah. And right now, part of what Jesse's had to resort to is he has, the bad guys in the campaign, the monsters you're attacking. He's not using actual D&D figures, doesn't have them. Instead, Deadpool will show up, or some other crazy Lego character instead. We'll have to sub in for a bad guy since we don't have enough castle-y monsters that work.
Yeah.
So the big figs, I think, are popular for big baddies, for that kind of thing as well. So you do get to see. I wouldn't say you should go there expecting a bunch of crazy Lego builds. They are represented in Critical Bricks, but it's more fun to experience the D&D side of it, probably.
Yeah.
So
nice.
Yeah, it's been a great outlet to like I say, like being a DM is a huge investment for the guys that are doing the figures and painting and then the battle maps and all these things. So with Lego, I can make an easy little terrain that I'll use one night and have them destroy it or avoid it. I mean, I've got maps that I've never used.
We got a shameless plug from Hawkeye Lego Man. It says, look for the logo that he made.
Yes. Yeah, Hawkeye made the Critical Bricks logo on those images with the green and the diamond shape. And
I will also,
I threw him a nice little tip.
I will also shamelessly plug him. If you guys are looking for any branding work, send Hawkeye Lego Man a message. He's incredibly good at branding. He really understands it, and he will make some amazing things for you if you need that in your life. Branding.
Yeah, some graphic design. Yeah, he just happened to have some very quick response time, and I was about to start the show or just started the show, and I really appreciate that, Hawkeye.
Yeah, good guy. We love our Hawkeye, right, Ben?
Absolutely. I don't know how I ended up with all the rivals and nemesis on this thing.
I thought
I blame myself for creating Breed the monster, but Hawkeye Lego Man, that just seemed natural. I don't know.
Yeah, well, all kind of makes sense.
Yeah, I mean, I troll Reed a couple times, and what do you know? Now he's trolling me back. Let's see here. Well, we got through nostalgia or noteworthy already. Do you want to talk about nurturing?
I do. Hey, and I'm glad that we have you and Jesse here for this. So I'm going to get a little emotional about this, about this particular topic. So this is like one of those things. We're all about like supporting the Lego community. I've thought about this a lot lately, and it's just been a lot going on. We had a death in the family, and had this cough for 6 weeks. So I'm like, am I dying? So I've had like a lot of like nostalgia, sort of emotional thoughts.
Right.
And like, as I'm reorganizing the basement, like really digging into it, like I've done a lot of organization, finally getting all this flood stuff out of the way, found a lot of old figures, like even just a lot of old pieces that I pick up and I think, oh, this is a literal thought I have when I see some of these figures and sometimes pieces. Oh, this is my friend from when I was a kid. So again, this is not, I don't expect this to be a common experience with people, but since we're about building community and like talking about things, one of the things that I've talked about with people, AKA a therapist, just from like having the type of childhood I had, if you guys haven't been on the stream before or know me very well, I have a husband, meaning I'm gay. So I grew up gay in a very like religious family, and I didn't necessarily have the nurturing I needed. No offense to Linda, which is not actually her name, my parents just didn't know how to do it. I was born in 1976. So it just wasn't. We just didn't have the culture to like raise a kid that way or figure out what was going on. So I oftentimes, not knowing what I needed from nurturing, I escaped into fantasy, which was all mostly through Lego. Like I have entire stories. My sister and I used to watch soap operas after school or like during the summer. Or on days off school, and like I would like create similar like storylines. I literally had a Family figure that was like the neighborhood's prostitute because I picked it up from a soap opera. But like I gave them names, I gave them storylines, I gave them lives, and they became like people in my life. And it was easier for me to go there than trying to figure out some of the stuff I was going through. So when I go through like big life events, like I've been through this year, I think about that all the time. Where I grab Lego and I realize I'm a 47-year-old man that is still playing with Lego and how much it means to me and how much it's part of my life. Just that like it it meant something to me. It got me through a lot. And so when I see those things and I realize that they were like Lego itself is actually like a family to me. The individual elements sometimes are like my family. Like when I pick up a piece that's not produced anymore, I'm like, oh, I miss you. I would like to see you in a new color. It's like the deep visceral connection that like can't be described in words kind of strikes me all the time. I don't necessarily need anybody to share similar experiences if they have the same thing. The tainted is definitely welcome to. Jesse, Ben, you're welcome to as well. But if not, I just wanted to bring that up because it strikes me all the time. And so if you feel the same way, you're not alone. And like that's part of like what I think a lot of at least a good percentage of the Lego community has as well. Um, and that it like sometimes it helps me through, it helps me get through things. Sometimes it's it's a nuisance. It's very much like a family member to me. And so that's why it's kind of like with what I was missing as I was growing up, I replaced it with this fantasy world, and the fantasy world became Lego, and it's still there. It's still, and there's no way to like remove it from my life in that way. That's it, nurturing.
Well, so for me, when I was a kid, and we talked about this a long time ago
Mm-hmm.
on the live stream that we attempted to do for the charity fundraiser, and I'm sure we might actually be able to do another one of those one of these days. But when I was a kid, I had a degenerative bone disease in my hip called leg calve perthes. It's just shortened to leg perthes now. And basically, the idea is that you have your hip bone that looks like this, and then it goes into the socket that looks like this. Mine was all deformed, so it kind of looked like this. Didn't really fit in there. So I ended up having 3 surgeries on my hip to get that fixed. So if you ever run into me at Brick World and I look like I'm limping, I'm actually not. One of my legs is shorter than the other because of that. Or if you find that I ask my wife to tie my shoes, it's not because she's my servant. It's because it is difficult for me to bend down on my right side to tie my shoes.
Yikes.
I have to get all the way down on the floor to do it. Also makes riding a horse basically impossible, and crawling under the barriers at Brick World unfun as well. But because of that, I had a lot of restrictions. This happened to me when I was going into kindergarten. I had a lot of restrictions on what I could do. And when I was a kid in 1985-ish, call it 1986 maybe, when I had started with this, I couldn't. There was no internet. We didn't have a lot of video game systems. There was Atari. That was about it. So
Sorry.
my outlet, since I couldn't go outside and play, I never really learned how to ice skate, for example, things you might think a Minnesotan can do. I would stay inside and build Lego. And my Lego of choice at the time was Pirates, which is really what carried me forward for a long time. It seemed like it was going to be an evergreen theme for Lego, ended up not being an evergreen theme. And so, what ended up happening with me, what brought me back out of my dark ages, and what kind of drew me back to Lego, is when I started law school, I decided I wanted to take it seriously like a job. And so because of that, I didn't have a smartphone. I had the internet, but I didn't have cable of any variety. But because I was treating it like a job, by the time I would get done with all of my schoolwork, sometimes it would only be 7 o'clock at night. My girlfriend at the time, who is now my wife, was going to college 4 hours away. So what did I do? Well, I went online and I found Eurobricks because they had a large pirate
Holy
forum.
shit! Yeah.
And so my escape from boredom as a 22-year-old out of college, going to law school, was to look at Lego mocks, pirates in particular. And that really drew me back in. I had been out for, like a lot of people, the end of high school and all of college, I didn't really do Lego.
Same.
But now I was back into it. So it is a lot the same for me in that I have certain ties and nostalgia to themes, one of which doesn't even really exist. It occasionally comes back for a short wave or two. That just make me think about, that's all I could do then. And that's why I love it so much and why I'm still tied to it.
Yeah.
So anyway, yeah, I mean, it was definitely an escape and the only thing I could do for a long time. My friends were out playing outside. I was playing with Lego. So
Yeah. It's something totally worth talking about.
yeah. Well, and now of course, I've got all these nerdy friends who play with Lego too. So
Yeah, it's quite the community.
Yeah. Amazing community.
I don't have quite the Dark Age story. I definitely remember having some Lego, but not really being able, to afford too much. But I do remember the neighbor kid. And as far as a nostalgic piece, Mark, there was a green drawstring bag that I believe was official Lego. And my friend kept all his Lego in this
yes.
Yeah. Because he would unstring it and then it would become the play mat of all holding all the pieces.
So they had the mail order catalog, which is what they called it before. They called it the shop at home catalog, which is what they initially called the shop.lego.com, was shop at home.
Okay.
On the website. Yeah, I totally remember that thing.
Okay. I'm glad that's like official then. Because it's the earliest memory I can think of without connecting to the themes like you guys are. I just remember a pile of brick and making a tower or making a castle.
Yeah.
And not really playing with minifigs so much as just the pieces. But that could have been how old I was. And then, life happens. I was more of a skateboarder and college. And then midlife crisis, you turn 40. You find this hobby that's kind of cool with the Star Wars theme and can afford it now and be like, okay, here's an X-Wing. Okay, here's the TIE Fighter. And so that's the beginning of my journey. And then when I started to reach out for more, I found Brickmania. Was the house of the Greater Midwest Lego Train Club that I am still heavily involved with.
Yeah.
And fortunate that was a hub in our local, not too far away, and some nice people that were very inviting and pop culture nerdy, and invited me in. So that was probably 10 years ago. I'm like a 10-year, 2014 to 2024 now, 10-year heavy, like dove right into the deep end with the Lego Train Club. And small, nostalgia. Yeah. And I could pull at some heartstrings a little bit since you guys are so good at it. Today at the museum, my parents visited with my brother who has Down syndrome and reunited with one of his childhood friends from that like old neighborhood, not the same Lego bag guy, but had a nice kind of a surprise meeting between my brother Dave and his childhood friend who also has Down syndrome. So they're like jabbing at each other and like, messing with each other with handshakes. And looking at the Lego trains, and we had a good time today with kind of a family and friends, nostalgic, like, because I had not seen him like since he was probably 8 or something, and it's like, wow, here's his old friend and my brother having a good time, and it seemed like he was connecting with Lego. I don't know if that my brother would get into it, but they were jabbing about Batman and stuff. So I grabbed a brick head for Batman and Joker and hooked them up with something they could maybe create their own memories with for today. That was today.
Nice. I think one thing that we should do, Ben and the Tainted, is try to get our hands on as many of those drawstring play area bag things from I think there was like a 1986 product. We need to get those to Jesse, and then he can we find someone to like make a Dungeon Master hood for him to run his
a cape and
yes,
a cape out of it. That'd be great.
We could get a corset and a bat.
I don't know if Jesse wants to wear a corset. We're talking more like leather armor.
Yeah, I do apologize. What I meant was a high-waisted pant.
Oh.
Armor vest. Yeah.
Give it to Lego Master Amy. She can probably figure it out.
Oh, is Z's spouse? Her parents might have one.
Oh wow. Yeah, I would. That would be my whale right now, like some weird nostalgic piece.
Oh God. And I know Maria, our friend from Lego Masters Season 2, and from originally Eurobricks, she sewed the tent for our potion shop at Brick World, and she's pretty skilled at that sort of thing. So I'm sure she can make a cloak for you if we found enough of those.
Yeah, you can believe that her gateway to Lego was being a seamstress. Believe it or not.
Paige and Monica Berry are always on, like, because I'm such a stickler for grammar. When I forget words, they're always right there for me. Doublet, not corset.
Doublet pattern.
I was like, no, the high-waisted pant thing, the thing that connects. Doublet, yes, that.
It's a lace-up.
Great knot.
It's a lace-up tunic.
So the other thing we need to see, because the rest of the episode, the last one you were on, when I was on vacation, you talked about the tricks that you can still do. We need to see happen
at Chicago.
No pressure, but at Chicago this year, like one night at the food trucks, you just got to bring your board out and show us what you can still do, because I'm so excited to see it. Ooh. And good for you. That's great. I think we should have like a talent show. I've never pulled the trigger on it. I've only done the show twice. Yeah. But I think it'd be really fun just to let people share what else they do outside of Lego.
Right. Yeah. That's the next question. Once you're like awkward silence. So what else do you do?
and that's the thing is, like, we have so many introverts in the community, which is fine. That's great. Love it. But like, give other ways for people to open up and share who they are in ways that they're more used to. Like, I'm just going to go jump on a skateboard and do it. Or I'm going to
I had a DJ phase where when I moved to Colorado, I found late 90s hip hop, and vinyl was still cool, and cassette. So I have like literal like mixtape cassettes of DJ Jesse Jam mixtapes with Beastie Boys and
I love this.
And Wu-Tang and all this stuff. And yeah, that would be tough. Just like skateboarding, to kind of figure out if I can how well I could scratch and stuff. But how funny would it be if ACOB needs a DJ for those rappers?
Yes.
By the way, what's really fun about ACOB is, like, because he didn't want to pay extra for getting the licensed music, he writes all his own music for his live stream. So I mean, he'd totally be into that if you were willing to go in there and help him out with that sort of thing.
I think we need a soundtrack for World of Lights. I can't imagine anything better than Beastie Boys mixtape.
Nice.
Just try not to play Sabotage during World of Lights.
Right. Yeah.
Do that. Vinyl is cool again, and has been for like the last 6 or 7 years.
Oh,
been around for a while again.
The other thing I have quite a few milk crates, if you will.
Milk crates, yes, because they fit LPs perfectly.
Yep.
Why wouldn't you have milk crates?
Yep.
It only makes sense. All
You
right.
can just-
DJ Jesse Jam. We do need a DJ Jesse Jam booth at Brick World.
Ben,
Yeah.
we're at 2 hours and 45 minutes.
This has been, I told you it was going to be a long show, but I think this has been a good show outside of the
Good
first
show.
4 minutes of the show or so.
I know, right? Where I was like, here's hey, Jesse, in case you missed it, let
you
me
missed the first half hour. Yeah.
Oh,
let me relive the first 4 minutes of the show for you.
Oh no.
Mark started the show without me. I was in the bathroom.
Oh wow.
So it was just me.
There's no sound. I come in, I don't hear anything. I'm like, I don't know what's going on here, but I just see the comments. I can't hear anything, and I'm like, okay, I guess I'm on. Here we
Oh
go.
my gosh.
Yeah.
The comments
So
weren't helping you out, or
They did, but I had it on the brand so I could play the videos and bring the titles up.
sure, yeah, I know. I just switched.
Like-
I'm like, oh yeah, now I can read the comments.
Like, let's see what the comments say. Comments say no audio. And I was like, damn it.
And for we're still new at this.
and for new forever.
yeah. Well,
Next show.
next show.
Uh,
What are we doing next show, Mark? Well,
I'm
Lego Crimes with our good friend.
Nicole.
This is, I have all the Lego sets before the rest of you. Girl bricks a lot herself.
You
Loves the
mispronounced,
Lego Crimes.
you mispronounced Animal Crossing because that's all I care about. But she does have them all very early, and she's
Yeah.
very good at reviewing them, promoting them, having fun with them.
Nice.
Whole pile of them. So we're gonna do Lego Crimes again. I've got mine picked out. The crime itself is relatively short, but I will add some nice content as well. I'll have slides just like last time. I don't know what Mark and Nicole will cook up,
I got slide.
but we'll be able to show them on the screen just like this next week. So we're gonna have some fun with Lego Crimes, and then after that, I don't know. I have a feeling that first of all, we'll have a lot of March 1st sets and discussion, but as soon as we get D&D news, I think we're going to need to send out the Jesse signal, the jam signal up in the air,
100%.
get Jesse on to talk about it when we can officially talk about it, when there's an
Right.
official image.
And for needed.
Yeah.
No doubt about it. I'll be here.
Good.
Right.
Thank you.
Cool. Well, one other thing we wanted to show.
What's
before, yeah, I don't actually have the link, but I wanted everyone to see the apple of my eye, my daughter Mara, promoting selling Girl Scout cookies.
Hold on, I have it. Give me a minute.
I have it as well.
Oh, you do have it now. Okay.
I can bring it up over here, and hopefully
My
everyone will
order's
be able
in
to hear this.
On my niece.
But here we go. So everybody who loves, I can go that. Everyone who loves Girl Scout cookies or their little Girl Scout.
Hi, I'm a Girl Scout, and I want to sell cookies, and this is my first year of selling cookies, and my goal is 101. I've sold 5 so far, so I have 96 more to go, and sometimes it's hard for me to speak to people, so this will really help me, and I want to achieve my goal, and click on this link or message my mom. Thank you.
Oh my God, that's so adorable.
So she's already smashed that goal.
All right.
Friday Night Bricks, if you're curious, they've upped the price to $6 a box this year. Mark will be buying some anyway, even if he doesn't like them, because you have to.
Yep.
But she's already smashed her goal. She has gone door to door to sell cookies, even though, as she mentioned, she's a bit of an introvert.
Chris,
Yeah, they do offer shipping. I can actually post the link, or we'll put it on the we'll put it in the
description.
The description later on to do that if anyone actually wants to pay shipping. If you don't, I suppose you could buy them, and I could have a super delivery this year at Brick World Chicago if you're coming.
By the way, I will buy cookies and for not a monster. I keep saying that, but nobody seems to believe me. I love this comment. I just want to go back to this. Monica Berry says that she still has her dad's milk crates, but her mom took the records.
You have the milk crates for some other use.
Records aren't worth that much anymore.
Actually, so like this shelf behind me,
Yeah.
had my dad make for records before Lego.
Oh God.
And I just repurposed them.
We've
The whole-
repurposed the
because
jam shelves.
yeah.
How about that? And Crystal, yes, I can save them for Chicago and bring some in. We definitely will have to do that. But yeah, that was my daughter. She's an introvert like me, getting herself out there on video, just like Mark makes me do, selling some cookies.
Guess what?
So,
Blackhawks won tonight. I had my notifications off, but turns out they won. Anyway, sorry. I was
well, good
excited.
for the Blackhawks.
Yeah.
So that's exciting for them. So
Sports ball
before
on
we end the show, because of
Sports
course
ball.
next week we're going to be at Lego Crimes.
Yes,
I just want to remind everybody of a few things. First of all, it's a lace-up tunic.
it is.
We already had that out there.
Mhm.
Be on the lookout for a future episode of Think Outside the Books. That might be a little interesting.
1000%.
But no matter how any of those shows go, nor how the intro to this show went, remember, Bob Ross says there are no mistakes, only happy accidents.
Do you have an outro ready?
Which one should we go with?
I was going to go with the new one we did last week because it's a lot of fun.
Let's do it. That one. I love that one. Let's.
Brick Story, Dreamgirls Cruise Ship Building Toys Playset Creative Friends Yacht Building Sets, 318 pieces, Girls City Boat Model Building Kit, Christmas Birthday Gift for kids ages 6 to 12. Let's check it out. It's also a Carnival Cruise Line. Oh, wait a minute. It's a Rival? Look at... All right, so we see... All right, before I touch this picture, well, let's just go right there. It says Carnival here. What does this say? Carnreal, right? Something crazy has been photoshopped already for zero reason.
Yeah.
You can play with this set even if you're Siamese twins. Role play?
Yeah. Fair enough. Or room decoration.
With your glass vase of different colored straws.
Straws.
And they're bendy straws.
Well, duh. Why would you even? And I sure as hell hope they aren't paper straws. Okay.
I do too, actually.
Whether you love the environment or hate the environment,
you can hate paper straws and love the
paper
environment.
straws are terrible regardless.
No, they're garbage. Oh, look at that. What's that?
What's what? Okay.
What's behind the windshield?
What is behind the windshield?
Look.
No.
There's some weird ass minifigure in there.
How is that possible?
There's
They don't
two.
have figures.
There's two. It's like we're being invaded. It's just like we just made first contact with Blockoverse people. Can you not see it? How can
I can see him. I can see him.
You can see him now?
I can. He's like a mini doll
Yeah, I think they're
at
both
the
women.
steering wheel. And you're right. And then there's one back behind peeking its head out. But they only appear in that picture.
Mm.
I think that's the same picture, just rescaled, that they used in the lifestyle shop, the Siamese twins. So you can see them sort of there.
Oh my god, you're right. Look at that.
It's the same picture.
Siamese twins. We're making discoveries. This is why, like, physics research is important.
Okay,
like
hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on. Lifestyle picture, Siamese twins. The girl on the left. The girl on the left, she's holding like a pen or maybe a detonator with a bright red light on the end.
She 100% is.
She's also in the bomb making business. Look at that.